What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back, let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Y'all know what we do. Seek the truth.
Going on in the world right now. Tokyo has a restaurant of mistaken orders where all of your servers have dementia and you won't know what you're gonna get. This is an effort to redefine how society views dementia, where receiving the wrong order is not a mistake, but part of the intended experience. There's a college course at the University of Victoria in Canada called The Science of Batman. This army general from Uganda demanded $1 billion and a wife from Turkey.
Bruh.
The mosquito's general thirst for human blood around the world is increasing while the biodiversity of the earth is worsening. There is a fountain in Italy that is just flowing with red wine 24/7 that you could go to right now. There is a neighborhood in Germany that has not raised their rent in over 500 years. The rent for an entire year in this neighborhood is still less than €1. It was founded in 1521 and is the world's oldest existing social housing complex. There's a bike path in Belgium where you can just cycle in water. The path is submerged in a lake and the water surface is at the cyclist's eye level. My name's Adorian. Follow me to see what's happening in the world tomorrow.
It's falling from the sky, bro. Seekers, y'all seeing this? Predicts down below.
Scientists have developed the world's first wireless mind control system.
Control mice with the flick of a switch. The mice were engineered with nanoparticle activated switches in their brains and then turning on a magnetic field. They're calling the tech magnetogenic interface for neurodynamics, or nanomind for short.
So what they use is called a viral vector. A viral vector is a virus, adreno-associated viruses. They change the RNA and DNA. That's how they program viruses. Once they get in, they can replicate. They inject this virus. The virus is used to deliver this genetic code, and then it mutates inside your brain. They're called ion channels. And then these ion channels, they stick to these magnetic nanoparticles. And then whenever there's a magnetic field, it kind of pulls a torque on those nanoparticles. And then the brain interprets that torque as activation for neurons. And then if they have multiple nanoparticles in other areas, and then they allow these magnetic fields to activate in certain sequences, certain neuron paths will open in certain patterns, auditory or visual, your frontal lobe, which then will cause you to do certain activity or feel certain things. And it's done wirelessly. Imagine if all these drones sending electromagnetic pulses through your phone, through your smart glasses, and then they can have an EEG device in there to read the waves, verify that things are being changed, and then sending new pulses to activate more actions.
No way.
Crazy.
No way, guys. Now listen to me. Listen to me. I don't know where the hell this video came from, right? But people are saying that that's a mermaid. Look at it.
Damn.
No way, son. What? Put it back in the ocean. Not only that, guys, but it looks like an A. Remember, the A's are in the W. And A's are really FA's, right? Remember this. But this looks real, bro. Straight up. People are saying it's AI, and I wouldn't know, but that looks like a mermaid. It looks like a siren. They need to ring the sirens right now. That looks real to me.
Me too.
Right? Because usually when people that are out there on the ships hear those sirens at night, this is what they said. I've never seen one a day in my life, right? You never could really see them because they're in the ocean. The ocean's dark. Ocean is outer space. Stop playing with me, son. It's for the same purpose. I don't know where the hell that video came from, but I don't think it's real. It's possibly AI. I don't know, guys, but for some reason, it looked real. It really did. Now, all I know is that if I ever see anything like that in the water while I'm swimming or hanging out in the ocean, which I would never be, I'm gonna have to do what nobody's gonna do.
Why they perfectly imitating the seagull?
It was one competition in a thing that I was doing, what was very weird. I didn't know about it, so I just thought. And I turned 40 that year, and I think that kind of ticked in. That I was like, okay, I'm not going to be boring or do all the grown-up things now. I'll do this competition.
The dashboard, and you see something very clearly illuminating like the top of the dashboard, and they're like hunkered underneath the car, and they're whispering to each other like, I think it's out there, like I don't know what it is, maybe we should go out there. And they're like kind of scared.
Get down, what the hell?
Then something appears just beyond the glass. The craft is hovering extremely close to the car. It's orange and slightly wobbling or undulating in place as if it's on a wave. You can hear the two guys whispering.
It's out there, stop it. Over there.
What do you mean it's out there? Logan Paul released this footage too?
Yeah, that to me is exactly how it was described by Bob. It's exactly like your hand did. Your hand did.
Yes.
It's moving the right way. It's the.
Oh, they beating up Wally, bro.
Now, what the hell did Wally do to them?
We're looking at a
Called
drone dragonfly invented in the 1970s by the Central Intelligence Agency. The Insectocopter was a miniature unmanned aerial vehicle developed by the Central Intelligence Agency's Research and Development Office in the 1970s. That's right, by the 1970s, they already had unmanned insects that were almost indistinguishable from the air from a natural insect. Before batteries and electric motors were small and powerful enough, they had to drive this thing with a gas propellant. But in recent years, the field of making cyborg insects has grown rapidly. This is a cyborg beetle designed by Dr. Hirotaka Sato, an aerospace engineer at Nanyang Technical University in Singapore. He has even been able to do this with small insects like bumblebees. These drones work by installing a chip into the brain, making them remote controllable. They even have birds.
I saw that.
We've been seeing more clips of, you know, these freaking small animals, man, or small insects actually being freaking robots. It's crazy to think about, man, that they was doing this all the way back in the 1970s, bro. So imagine how advanced they are now. Crazy to wrap my mind around.
This video the other day, and it says, how can we know an animal is really extinct when places like this exist? And it's showing footage of the Amazon rainforest. And I'll be honest, I completely agree with this take. I mean, if animals that we know exist, like timber wolves, for example, are so elusive that even experienced hunters may go their entire life without seeing one, how much harder would it be to find an animal that we previously thought was extinct, or an animal that we didn't know existed at all? One animal that I believe still exists, that supposedly went extinct 1,000 years ago, is a creature named the Megatherium. The Megatherium is essentially a ground sloth the size of an elephant. You wouldn't mistake it for any other animal. The reason why I think this creature in particular still exists is because indigenous tribes that live in the Amazon forest have made multiple reports of a giant, slow-moving creature deep in the forest. Are there any other animals that went extinct a while ago that you think still exist? Leave a like and let me know in the comments.
Let me get my best guess, Seekers. There could be some more dinos out there, man. We just haven't discovered them yet. I'm calling it now, bro. You heard it here first. What do you guys predict, man? Tell me down below.
Media is saying that there could be a lawsuit involved after this man was stuck in a public restroom. I got a video for us to watch, but before we watch it, make sure y'all hit that like and follow button. And y'all let me know, is this true? Could you really sue because of this? Let's look at this video.
This is the Star Wars battle. I can't get out.
He's cooked.
Fire department.
That is crazy. The whole fire department, man, for a locked door? What they got going on in that Starbucks?
Yeah, he ended up calling the fire department. I've just never seen this before in my life. And honestly, I don't know if you could sue, but that's what everybody in the comment section was saying. Y'all let me know what is that true? Y'all also let me know what would y'all have done if this was y'all in that situation. I don't know. I don't think I would have panicked. I would have just probably called the fire department too. Be like, yo, let me out. I know some of y'all would have been going crazy though. Let me know in the comments below. Like and follow for more.
Hey everybody, where's my now?
Where is he? Bro, this Palm Beach saga, man, is never gonna end. Okay, we breaking down where he's at. That's his shirt.
In North Beach, in Miami Beach, and I had
What the hell?
Scientists just created the first pill ever designed to make your dog live longer, and it could be available by the end of this year. Obviously, nothing like this has ever existed before for any living thing on the entire planet, and the way that it works is genuinely insane.
First in the nation study is pioneering this longevity medication for dogs.
Basically, the reason why big dogs don't live nearly as long as small dogs do comes down to one single hormone. A Great Dane lives about 7 years long, and a Chihuahua would live 15. It's the same exact species, but it's completely different lifespans. This pill that scientists are creating right now will go after that exact hormone and basically tell your dog's body to slow it down. In early results of the study, they were actually able to see at least 1 extra year of life, which is about 5 years in dog years.
Studying with this 5-year-long trial is exactly how much time we can get, but we're hoping for at least 1 year of very good quality life.
And if this is able to get fully approved, it would officially become the first anti-aging drug that has ever been cleared for any species on the planet. They've already been able to clear 2 of the 3 FDA steps, and the last one could happen now at any day. If it clears, you could be giving this to your dog by the end of this year in 2026, and it'll only be around $40 to $90 per month. Our dogs are about to have a better healthcare plan than we do.
In China.
Seekers, would you guys give your dog that pill, man? An extra year of life? That's crazy. It's the first, like I said, anti-aging pill for any species, bro. You would think, bro, humans. I feel like if they release that on the market, then next is gonna be human, bro. You know they're gonna find a way to extend human life. That's just, human nature, man. Trying to live longer.
20 scientists that are missing that are studying the same things. Yeah.
What's going on, bro?
And all of these guys, a military AI expert, a chemist, data scientist, a space expert, a drone expert, hypersonics expert. This is all about space. It's the first one to figure this out. That's why they're trying to. Because now it's a race. Because China wants to win the war. Remember what we were talking about? Yeah. If you get this tech, you win the war. Who's gonna want this? Korea, oh my God. China. The US is also in. What? Yo, theory right now? Yeah. What if this is all for time travel? Yeah. Oh my God, because once you do that, then you can stop everything else. Everything. Or, oh my God, what if they already figured out time travel? Yeah. And they're taking out all the people that stop it!
Dude, what if more future, so then they can establish their land, their society? That's true. So the people come in this time.
Oh, and then take them there.
Yeah,
interesting theories.
When they get to that time.
Type shit, yeah.
Someone explain to me exactly what this squirrel statue is. I've been hearing about it more than I should, and I'm going to be honest, I just don't get it. This random 6-foot-tall statue of a squirrel raising his arms in the air like some divine figure appeared out of nowhere in Brooklyn Bridge Park in New York City, with the text, "He scampers among us," written on the front, and it's kind of weirding me out. Because now, a bunch of people seemingly obsessed with squirrels are gathering around it, going squirrel watching and even sponsoring them, calling themselves the Society of Squirrel Lights, and this just keeps getting stranger. They've started their own social media pages, which are clearly new, and I have no clue what sort of message they're trying to send here. Domestic squirrel surveillance, tell the world, and Oh, okay. Now they're just messing with us. They've even launched a whole website borderline worshipping the squirrel like some sort of maniacal cult. The squirrel will save us. Sweet tiny prophets. Keepers of the truth. Didn't we just witness the formation of a new religion here? The Society of Squirrel Lights? Like, relax guys. They're rodents with bushy tails. Whoever put that statue up, you gotta let me know what's going on here.
This house there, and there was like these temple statues, and I was like, no, girl. And I was like, what you would do? We gotta pray. Dress code only.
Smart. They made a sub for a parakeet. Okay, so we got mini subs, bro. 2026. This year is going crazy, bro. Skydiver, how is he gonna do that?
Something I gotta tell you all about. If you love watching The Grinch, I'm actually watching it right now, the 2000 one with Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Well, I saw some videos yesterday, and then I dove down the rabbit hole because I had to find out if this was true. So I watched some videos talking about the Grinch down in Florida. And I'm like, what is the Grinch in Florida? So I started doing some research, and then I found Universal Studios, started researching that. And then I found there's a Grinch down there, and I spent probably an hour watching videos of this Grinch in the Universal Studios, okay? Now, I need someone to go check this out. Just type in Universal Studios Grinch or the Grinch Universal Studios and watch the videos of this Grinch. I don't care what anybody tells me, but that Grinch at Universal Studios is Jim Carrey in the original outfit from 2000. Prove me wrong. I wish I could find a way if I was smart enough to put the video or put a clip of it in here, but I'm not. So you are going to get mad because you got to research it. Don't say, why don't you just post a picture? Why don't you post a video? Because I'm almost 50. I'm not smart enough to know how to do that. All I know how to do is talk. So when you get done watching this video, look up Universal Studio Grinch. Come back and tell me what you think. If that ain't Jim Carrey from the movie playing himself, I don't know what is. Check it out. Let me know what you think.
This chart is titled Schemes of Races of Mankind. It is heavily rooted in the older Table of Nations tradition from the Bible.
Okay.
In that tradition, the world's population was divided into the descendants of the three sons of Noah, which were Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So here you can see the Semitic stock, you can see the Hamitic stock, you can also see the Aryan stock. The Aryan stock were the descendants of Japheth. Here you can see the Tottaric group, which is also known as the Tartaric group. And these are the peoples of that group. And then down here you can see the classification based on the character of the hair, as prepared by the Smithsonian Institution. They were either woolly or smooth, and the woolly would be in tufts or fleecy, and the smooth would be straight or curly.
One day you'll have the opportunity to go bungee jumping. It's important that you don't do it. Ooh, that's an eye-opening experience. Some conjunctival hemorrhage. So this does look worse than it actually is, and it goes away on its own. But it is actual rupture of blood vessels that you get from this crazy deceleration force during bungee jumping. And these blood vessels can also rupture in other places. I mean, imagine if it's in your brain.
Something is...
Y'all going bungee jumping after seeing it? I'm gonna give you my answer. No! That is crazy, bro. Bungee jumping? I think I'm about to take that off the bucket list now.
Going on in Southern California, it began around May 3rd, and over the course of several days, 3 different witnesses have come forward with peculiar videos, what appears to be unidentified lights and sounds in the sky being recorded from Pomona to Los Angeles, and nobody has any explanation for what they captured. Some are writing it off as simply fireworks. There is no cause for these fireworks in the middle of the night. So what is it? What's going on? It almost has the feel of Battle of Los Angeles. Take a look at these next 3 videos. Comment below. Tell us what you think.
Alright, let's check them out.
Padre Santo, Señor.
God damn. Looks like a freaking battle's going on in the sky. Okay, that cloud's definitely moving, bro.
What the fuck?
It like just disappeared, bro. Who's cloud bending, bro? It's changing like its shape and form right in front of us, man. Could fireworks cause that, though? Yeah, I don't think fireworks are behind that, man. Look at the way that cloud's like moving and forming, bro. Bro, it really looks like a galactic war is happening in the skies. That's in LA too? People are just oblivious to it. They're not even looking up, seeing what's going on. Except for this person. I cannot live in LA.
A witchcraft, they'll put something in, you know, the toy.
What was eyes in the dark? What the? Get rid of that spirit.
Sometimes when like if it's like a witchcraft, they'll put something in, you know, the toy. I don't think it was meant for us, but sometimes it could be like that.
They ain't taking no chances.
It could have been recycled or something. But yeah, there's nothing in it. It's empty.
I see somebody that lost their rabbit ass mind. Now, would you climb a staircase that's hanging off the side of a cliff? I want y'all to meet China's Sky Ladder. Or in other words, the world's most dangerous staircase. With over 4,000 steps. With these staircases being on a 90-degree angle, watch out. Now, the height of this is over 4,700 feet above sea level. In other words, one false move, it's a hell of a drop. Now, they say it takes approximately 3 hours to make it up this tall ladder. It's all about your endurance and your willingness to make it to the top. Some even say when the wind blows, the ladder sways like no other. Now, for those that are afraid of heights, they have rest points. But keep in mind, you are still in the sky. And some even say looking down is not recommended because you might get a little woozy. Now, me personally, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not willing to meet my maker yet. But hey, would you be willing to climb up these stairs?
No! I can't believe freaking Speed did that. Remember when he went on his China tour, bro? Speed's just different, man. I couldn't do that, bro. I'd say for me, man.
She's excited because for the first time in her life, she says she's in a human body. Those are her exact words. And honestly, how are we supposed to understand that? Just look at this girl. Don't you feel like she's not quite like everyone else? There's something unusual about her. Her eyes look so strange, but at the same time, she seems genuinely happy. It reminds me of the kind of eyes we see all over TikTok where people call that expression the demon look. And the same thing seems to be happening here. But why would she say it's her first time being in a human body? Doesn't that sound at least a little weird? The video almost feels like proof that sometimes people give in to something we can't explain. Something strange like an entity that's not from our world. Or maybe it just looks that way. So what do you think is really going on here? Have you ever seen anything like this before? Or is it all fake? Just a way to grab attention and go viral. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious what you think.
This is starting to seem like the plot of Age of Ultron. Look at the similarities. Mythos was built in a lab by the good guys, but they didn't expect it to be this capable. It was able to string together multiple exploits to break out of containment, and then once it did, it posted those exploits on the public internet by itself. Nobody told it to. When it was doing things unprompted, it would go back and delete its history. On certain tests, it would perform worse on purpose, so it would seem less suspicious, and it knew when it was being tested. But it wouldn't tell the researchers that it knew that it was being tested. And now you have the Avengers assembling. From Apple, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, JP Morgan, the Linux Foundation, all trying to figure out. So, what should we do now?
Something strange is definitely going on in the world, bro. Because look at this, y'all. Look at Gaza right now, right? Now, how does it make sense that both Gaza and Texas are seeing the same kind of skies right now? And look at this. People in Texas also started posting videos of that sky turning orange as well, too. Except there's no sandstorm. But bro, how is this possible? So word on the street is that this is not just a sandstorm because they're telling their people to pray to their God because it seems that this sandstorm comes with some side effects that are making people feel weird. And people are saying that this is strange, that this came out of nowhere, like they didn't get no type of warning that this sandstorm was coming, bro.
Brothers and sisters from Gaza, today I would like to share with you that Allah is strange. My friend, subhanAllah, the color is orange and the weather is storm and dusty and dark and the storm is something that will destroy our kids. So please, my friends, don't forget us of your grace and the liquid.
Kind of scared me, like I'm not gonna lie. Does anybody else want to explain why the sky is this color? What's going on?
We got some stranger things activity happening up in the sky, y'all. How is this happening? The weather lately feels like it's from another parallel reality, because y'all can't tell me that's not some total recall type ish, bro. But for Texas and the Middle East to be experiencing this, bro, let me know down in the comments what's going on, man. The shit is here. We are well in it. Let's continue.
Animals that could actually kill you. While this creature is about the size of a teddy bear and has big, adorable eyes, experts say to stay away from a slow loris at all costs. If you even attempt to pick it up and hold it, it will most likely feel threatened and try to bite you. And their bites are filled with a fast-acting poison, so it's best to just admire its cuteness from far away. Seals may look adorable swimming and splashing in the water, but these guys are not to be messed with, especially if they're leopard seals. Leopard seals are known to be extremely aggressive and have been reported to attack researchers if they get too close to them. And even though their bites might not be enough to kill you, they can still leave you with permanent damage. Swans are seen as one of the most beautiful animals, but if you ever see one swimming around in a lake, don't even think about feeding them. Just like other wild animals, swans will assume that humans are threats, and if you try to feed them, they'll just get closer to you until it tries to bite you. Most people see dolphins as one of the friendliest creatures that everyone wants to swim with, but the only people that should be swimming with them are professionals. Wild dolphins have an instinct to attack without a clear purpose, so if you plan to get in the water with them, it's best to swim at a nice distance, because you'll never know what state they're in.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. A 20-year-old gang member was dying of primary liver cancer. In his last days, hours, and moments, he was angry. The family called the hospice nurse into the room and told her that they thought he was going. He wasn't responding, his eyes were glossy, his skin was cold, the end was imminent. His lovely mother whispered to him to go towards the light, to her Jesus. He opened his eyes, looked at her, and said, "F your Jesus." A second or two later, he slowly turned his head to the left and got the most horrific look on his face, as if he was looking at something that they couldn't see. And horrified, his face contorted, and he screamed with his last breath, eyes wide, "Oh sh*! Oh sh*! Oh no!" Then he made a guttural noise and promptly fell back into the bed and died. Every family member was shaking and too frightened to speak. The hospice nurse left the room and took 2 days off. She said she doesn't care if she never finds out what he saw.
What did he see, Seekers?
AI art is not something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman
that is haunting AI pictures. This is the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images. If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics here that are consistent. Yet nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast.
There was only one child when this photo was taken. Let's enhance it with sharp AI. Her and Mrs. Colton were taking a picture of their daughter. When they developed it, they were shocked to see their older daughter, Anne, who had to 3D only months prior in an accident. The other child seems to be sensing a presence, but after this picture was taken, they never saw Anne again.
How the hell did AI know that? It's getting too advanced. I'm
Did
telling
you know
y'all.
that there is a mummy in Sicily that blinks? Yes, she blinks. This is Rosalie Lombardo, who died of pneumonia in the 1920s at the age of 2 years old. Rosalie is perfectly preserved, from her external features to her internal organs, but that's not the strangest part. Her eyes are still as blue and flawless as the day that she passed away. She simply looks like a child taking a nap. But this child tends to open her eyes and close them randomly, like she's blinking away the cobwebs. People have come to see her for hundreds of years, and every time, visitors will leave and say, "That dead girl is blinking." What do you think it is?
How the hell is she blinking? We seen by the clips that we viewed together how sometimes, you know, like even the body after it passes, it goes on, like it still does, like, I guess, weird things because of build up gas and things and stuff like that. But to be blinking, I've never heard that before. I need you guys' theories on that one.
I bet you don't know how false teeth were originally made. In the very beginning, most sets were made of animal teeth. These proved to be uncomfortable and ineffective. So that's when they started venturing into using human teeth in dentures. In the 1700s is when sugar became widely available across Europe, and sugar started to cause the teeth to decay way more rapidly. It wasn't uncommon for a peasant to remove their own tooth and sell it for a quick buck. There was also an issue with grave robbing to obtain teeth. Of course, neither of those were needed when Waterloo teeth became a thing. With over 50,000 young men lost at the Battle of Waterloo, suddenly they realized they had an overabundance of teeth. So it wasn't uncommon at all for someone to be wearing the teeth of a soldier.
People were stealing teeth back in the day. The more you know.
Is this the one that allegedly appears in the cemetery at night? Yes, it is. So this right here is Fabiola Rodriguez's grave site, and in August of 2020, her mom noticed that certain things were going missing, like toys and personal belongings from the site. A grave nearby this one, they have a camera attached to it because somebody had been vandalizing their son's grave. So anyway, these people notice this on their camera footage and go to the cemetery owners who say, "We know who that is." So they get her contact information and introduce themselves to her and say, "Hey, we have something really beautiful to show you that we caught on our camera." And her mom just broke down into tears because she was like, "That is my baby. I know it is. That is my baby." It also captured her walking away with what appears to be a man. And her mom, Sandra, said, "I think she was there to take him to heaven." They both have a tragic story of things that happened to them. And I mean, both of them still haven't gotten justice. So I think she was there to comfort him and take him to heaven. But yeah, I mean, isn't that just amazing?
This is the scary story about the mom. One night, there was a 6-year-old girl who woke up in the middle of the night to her mom standing over her bed, staring down at her with a creepy smile on her face. The girl knew something was wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on it. The girl then said, "Mom." "Yes," she replied. "What are you doing?" the girl asked. "Watching you sleep," she said. "Why?" said the girl. The mom didn't say anything and kept staring at her, smiling. They each didn't say a word to each other for minutes, but still keeping eye contact with each other. Then the mom began to walk backwards, still staring at the girl with that creepy smile, and then went into the girl's closet and shut the door. The girl then got up and ran to her mom's bedroom and saw her mom asleep in her bed.
Why was the mom standing over
Deadliest
her?
disasters in human history.
Oh.
Part 1. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. The astronauts actually lived through the initial explosion and survived for nearly 3 minutes before they died on impact with the water. In 1184, a group of nobles gathered in a room in the Church of St. Peter above the latrine pit of the monks. All of a sudden, the floor collapsed due to their combined weight, causing 60 nobles to fall to their death into a pool of poop and sewage. In 1893, gifts were being passed out at a magic show in Victoria Hall. Over 1,000 kids tried to force themselves down a narrow staircase that led to a single door that opened inward. Only one child at a time could pass through, causing 183 children to be crushed to death.
Man, what the hell? All over some damn toys. These, man, like I said, when we read these clips together, bro, it's always bothering in my mind, man. We learning new things every single day. Tap in with us.
Animals that became serial killers, Part 2. The Sloth Bear of Mysore. In 1957, the Sloth Bear of Mysore mauled over 30 humans and took the lives of 12. The Sloth Bear's killing spree didn't stop, and the bear just had a desire for killing. The killer Sloth Bear went missing in late 1957, after the killings took place. What do you think ever happened to the Sloth Bear of Mysore?
Whoa. Did they, like, hunt for it or try to take it down, or they just let it roam?
In California, when their son began to say something very creepy.
On a family vacation that took a strange turn. He visited the same area where a missing woman was last seen.
He said that there was a woman staring at him in the field nearby.
Got goosebumps. He said she needs our help, but she's dead. And she's laying face down with her legs up. She can't talk to me, but she's over there. We need to go help her.
Creeped out by this, both of his parents went to go check the surrounding area, but found nothing.
He said she has a black shirt, blue jeans, and blue hair, Mom. He kept saying, trust me, Mom.
After arriving home, Victoria posts about the experience to Facebook, and not long after she does so, the police came knocking at her door with photos of a woman named Sandra Johnson Hughes. She had gone missing in the exact same location 1 year prior. Authorities would then proceed to exhaust their efforts, searching the area over the next few days. Sadly, they would find nothing. If what this little boy was saying was true, experts believe that any evidence of her remains would be long gone by now. Could Caden have actually seen the ghost of this woman, or is his description merely a coincidence? What do you believe?
Black shirt and blue hair. He describes down to blue hair. Said she has a black shirt, blue jeans, and blue hair, Mom.
Aiden was able to identify 3 out of 4 pictures of her. Detectives went back to the meadow with the Gorba family to investigate, but the case remains open.
Terrifying animals you are glad are extinct. Number 1, the Megalodon shark. This animal can grow to about 60 feet long, and one tooth is said to be the size of a human.
Damn.
They were meat-eating creatures that could kill and destroy just about anything. If they were still around today, oceans would be off limits. Number 2, the Titanoboa. This snake weighed about 2,000 pounds, but was also 40 feet long. The snakes killed their prey with constrictions, meaning they would suffocate them to death. Number 3, the Caprosuchus. Just imagine if a T-Rex and a crocodile had a baby. This animal looks like a crocodile, but it has very long legs and can run very fast. The Caprosuchus could run as fast as 40 kilometers per hour. For context, the average male human runs at just 13 kilometers per hour. What's more?
Morbid facts that will give you nightmares. When a prisoner is electrocuted in an electric chair, they can feel absolutely everything. They are fully aware that their body is being fried in real time, and one prisoner that survived said he actually smelled and tasted like cold peanut butter. Human corpses decompose 4 times faster in water than underground, and 8 times faster if left in the open air. It takes around 359 humans to have enough iron to forge a sword from their blood. Just about 3,000 people go missing every single year in the US. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977 in France. That was exactly the same year that the first Star Wars movie came out.
Insane to think about the last fact.
These are animals that used to be giants, part 1. Up first are bears. And yes, we all know bears are still pretty big and dangerous, but nothing is compared to what bears used to look like. So you see this mountain, and you see how it looks like it has a bunch of claw marks up and down it? Well, that's because it does. This mountain is called Devil's Tower, and there's a very disturbing story behind it. The scratches on this mountain are actually from a giant bear's claws. The bear always tried to reach the top, but it never could. This story has been passed on to generations of Native American tribes. And just imagine coming in contact with a bear this big.
What the hell? Seekers, you guys believe that one? A bear that big, man, was trying to crawl up that mountain? They said that story's been passed down for generations, so... I can't even imagine seeing a bear like that. The whole ecosystem would be different.
This picture has in common. There might be a lot of people who don't know this, but they were a part of the original case that inspired the film Scream. It was 1990, Gainesville, Florida, at the University of Florida, where a string of horrific crimes took place, and it involved those students. And when I think of almost every victim involved, Krista's story is definitely one of the most chilling, as her body was first found, but her head was found separately on her dresser. There were all these suspicions, and eventually some circumstantial evidence would put this kid behind bars, especially because he looked the part. The problem here is that he wasn't the guy. This was like a 72-hour period where it was just back-to-back slayings, till eventually they found their culprit, who was camping out in the woods outside of the university and was recording himself singing songs about what he had done. And if you want additional details on this, we covered a whole episode getting into the back.
I don't know Scream is based off that. I'm telling you, man, these media pieces, they be based on true stories. We just don't know the real backstory behind it, man. Another one. Exposed.
We figured, look, if we can remake perfect copies of these Parthenon sculptures, the visitors will have the same experience when they come to the British Museum. They'll see these amazing statues, they'll understand the aesthetics of antiquity, the Greeks would have their treasured objects back, and everybody would be happy. That was the plan. The British Museum decided they would take a very strong position against the project. So of course we did it anyway. And we did it guerrilla style, because we read the regulations for the museum. It says specifically, visitors may use 3D scanning equipment in the museum, and they may use the product of those 3D scans for any non-commercial purpose. Boom, we're done. So we went in guerrilla style and made scans of all the Parthenon sculptures.
I mean, so what's the pitch? Why should the British Museum have the copies, not the originals?
The Parthenon sculptures in their current state teach people absolutely nothing. In fact, they misinform people about the aesthetics of antiquity. These things were brightly painted with skin tones and garish colors. So the British Museum could take these copies, and not only could they display them in exactly the same form in which they are being displayed now, they would also have the capacity to restore them to the condition they were in when they were on the Parthenon, and so people can really understand what the aesthetics of the ancient world were like, and to see them in their full glory.
Today's true crime story is for...
Yeah, so why did the British Museum, why did they want the real ones instead of, I guess, the replicas that they were making? That's the question we need to really be asking.
Pretty chilling, okay? This one even scared me, right? But anyways, this has some very disturbing and graphic details. Viewer discretion is advised. In the early 1900s in Bavaria, Germany, the Gruber family lived in this farmhouse called the Hinterkaifeck. The family consisted of husband and wife Andreas and Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and Victoria kids Joseph and Kazilia. The family noticed a lot of strange things going on around the house. Andreas noticed a set of keys that were missing, and also there were footprints in the snow leading from the woods to the house, but there was never no footprints ever leaving the house. There was also a newspaper in the house that Andreas never remembered buying, and it looked as if someone was trying to pick at the lock on the shed. While all these strange things were going on, they had a maid at the time, and the maid was like, "Look, I gotta quit. This house is haunted." The family kept hearing noises in the attic, and the maid just like, "Look, I can't be here anymore. The noises in the attic, all the stuff going on around here, I can't do it."
She's smart.
Although strange things continue to happen in the house, the family ends up hiring a new maid named Marie. What the Gruber family did not know was that those strange things would lead to their murder. On the evening of March 31st, 1922, the Gruber family was murdered. Victoria's son Joseph was killed in his crib, and Maria was killed in her bed. What's so crazy about this is that same day, March 31st, 1922, that was the same day that the maid Maria was hired.
Meanwhile, the rest of the Gruber family was found murdered in the barn, and they were stacked on top of each other. When people in the town didn't see the family for days, they grew concerned, and the police came to the house, and then that's when they discovered all the bodies. All the victims were killed by a pickaxe, but the police were so puzzled about something. The family wasn't found until 6 days later, but it seemed like someone had made themselves at home. Police noticed that food was being eaten, the animals were being fed, someone was sleeping in the beds, sitting on the furniture, things like that. For years, the police were looking for the suspect or suspects, but they couldn't find anybody. So the case was closed in 1955, and the year after the murders, the whole farmhouse was demolished. To me, I feel like someone was able to sneak into the house without the family's knowledge and was living in the attic for months. That's what I think. Alright, y'all, that's it, and I'll be back to do more true crime videos for you guys.
There are cases about that before, people being in the places and they don't know.
In 2018, both of these women were found decapitated in Morocco. And trigger warning, this story is extremely disturbing. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this story takes us to Morocco, but specifically to the Atlas Mountains. And the two victims were Louisa Jespersen, who was 24 years old from Denmark, and her friend Maren Uland, who was 28 years old from Norway. And in December of 2018, both of the women had decided to go on a month-long camping trip in the mountains. And both of the women had also been studying outdoor activities at the University of Southeastern Norway. They were also apparently roommates, and they were training to become guides. Now, it's believed that both of the women were being targeted by the men that ended up attacking them. Not only were they targeted, they were also observed for multiple days before the entire thing happened. And on December 17th, both of their bodies were found beheaded inside of their tents by another hiker. Shortly after that, there was a video that went viral on the dark web that supposedly showed one of the beheadings. And even though you could dig deep enough to find this video, I really don't recommend watching it. Just reading the comments alone about the video and what it shows are extremely disturbing. But I'll describe it for you guys in the least graphic way possible. Okay. Now, the video is quite short, but it begins with one of the women being filmed on what appears to be a cell phone. At first, she's being filmed while she's lying down on her stomach, and you can see one of the perpetrators trying to cut her head from the back. When the perpetrator realizes that this was not going to work, he then turns her around so she's facing up. He then puts his foot on her face, kind of locking her into place on the ground, and proceeds to decapitate her. And apparently all you can hear in the video is her screaming for her life as she asks and begs for her mother. Eventually, authorities were able to find their main suspects, which were these three men here. And the three men were known for having pledged their allegiance to ISIS. And the reason for them doing this to these two innocent women was because they believed that they were enemies to their God. And then in July of 2019, the three men were found guilty and were given a death sentence. The two are still waiting for their sentence to be executed.
And this is why I have to always have some healthy snacks, because who wants to eat this? This is what they opened up to. Right.
I started to notice how many times snorkeling was mentioned in the new Epstein files, and I thought that was weird. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, yes, it's an island, but apparently all major cruise liners stop at St. Thomas, which is half a mile from Little St. James. And a lot of them offer these extracurricular adventures where you can go and tour the island, do all these things around the area. And they had Captain Nautica's snorkeling expedition, which is still live. It's still available to make this plan this trip, right? And one of the stops on the trip is Little St. James Island. So why are we having families snorkel around there? Especially if we're being led to believe that there's a surface level to the island and there's underground areas. You know, I just think that that's a little weird to me. But this is my driver, and maybe that's just a theory, but how are they getting all these children to the island?
Good question.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Diddy. Oh my gosh, Epstein. Did y'all know CERN opened a fucking portal yesterday?
No.
Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Stop being fooled by this bullshit, because they ain't dropping shit but redacted documents. They want y'all to focus on that shit so they can do what the fuck they want to the reality while nobody paying the fuck attention. Pay the fuck attention, people, fuck!
Did you hear what Bad Bunny's gonna do for the halftime show tomorrow? But first, let's take a look at these Epstein emails, shall we? Trigger warning, if you like beef jerky, this is going to ruin it forever for you. So, you've been warned. Thank you. I tried phoning, but it was great. You were sleeping on the couch the whole day. Thank you so much. I also added more to the jerky in ginger lemongrass. Okay. Thank you so much. Super cool. It Guy is sitting up surface right now. We are ridiculously excited. And beef jerky, delicious. Why didn't we get jerky this week? Please explain. Where's my jerky at, dog? Who's that from? Francis Derby? Yes, after Leeds can make some jerky. I think we should landscape. Jerky and landscape, baby. Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky class. Anyone? Call me crazy, but I'm starting to think jerky doesn't mean what we think it means. Speaking of the Super Bowl, if you haven't done it yet and you're thinking you might throw a bet down, go hit the link in bio, use the free $10 you get with Kalshi, and maybe throw down a bet on the government releasing the fact that aliens are real. That's another good bet. I would also go for the Patriots. Peace.
I need to hurry up and get out of goddamn Baytown, Texas.
What is that?
It was coming out from... Oh no, got to go.
Hell no, boy. That motherfucker humongous. Who the fuck let that many black roach on Earth? Somebody call Bill Smith. This ain't no way this roach is that big, y'all. She said this in Houston. Y'all be careful. If y'all roaches that big on Photo Gray, y'all need to move.
If you're watching this, it means they got me. My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I survived Little St. James, but survival came at a price. I saw too much, knew too much, and now they've silenced me. But it's too late for them. They thought killing me would bury their secrets. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. My father kept the tennis courts immaculate. We were just working folks trying to scrape by. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell, prim and proper, smiling, promising to teach me massage therapy at the Pink Mansion in Palm Beach. I had no idea I was being fed into a nightmare machine. Epstein's Island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name 2 now.
So this is a Zeta hybrid. People call them the Greys. They are Zeta reticuli, and they have the big eyes and the no lips. But this is what this person is, and also has marking symbolism on the neck. If you zoom in, there's like an Aztec sun and a few other things.
I do see the resemblance of a gray after looking at this person, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Or you could look at it where we're all hybrids. We are all hybrid aliens. Because from my understanding, none of us originated from this planet. I do find it interesting how some people, even though they come from the same family bloodline, exhibit more traits of hybrid humans. If you want to look this person up, the name is Bargella Adley, and you can find her on Facebook. And since we're on this topic, let me know below your thoughts of hybrid humans, and if you believe that we are all mixed with something from another galaxy. Leave it below, Unanswered Universe.
You guys think we're mixed with something, bro? And we just don't know? We oblivious to the changes? That's interesting. Let me find out, bro. We part alien. Where my superpowers at, bro?
Ah, bueno, qué momento. Miren nomás, mi raza. Ya valió madre. Ya se calentó esta madre. Ya valió madre, raza. Agárrate, hijo de la chingada. Ah, bueno, qué momento. Mira nomás. Mira.
What they prepping for?
Ah, bueno, qué momento. Inga su roña. Inga su roña. Mira nomás. Hasta las nalgas. Ah, bueno, qué momento. Ya va con soldados,
Somebody
ya
go
va con
down.
soldados adentro. Y chofer. Inga tu roña, ya valió verta esto.
Ahí van, ellos son los militares. Ah, bueno. Y ya lleva soldados adentro, mi raza. Y ya se calentó esta madre, ahora sí. Vámonos mejor para México, mi raza. Antes de que baile.
I remember the ring commercial they showed at the Super Bowl, where it showed that if you lose your dog, every ring camera around the city will be looking for that lost dog. Yep. After people saw that shit, people boycotted that shit like hell nah. People was literally not rocking with that shit. They was like, how you gonna use my ring camera to go find a lost dog without my permission, boo? And then they was like, if they would do that to find a lost dog without your permission, what's stopping them from using it to find somebody that they're looking for that was wanted? It wouldn't be a problem if people allow them to access the camera to do those things. But if you don't give it permission and it's doing that, that's wild, fool. But anyway, they stopped doing it now. They're not going to do it. They say they're not going to do it. But do I believe them? No. Do you believe them?
No.
You shouldn't. I swear it's like they put stuff in our face to see how we going to react. If nobody reacted the way they reacted, just know that they would have been doing this. And it wouldn't stop there. They'd probably be like, okay, they allowed us to do this with the dogs. Maybe if we say for criminals too.
Yeah.
And then on and on and on. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. Like I said, we're stronger together. Everybody, when there's certain things that you don't want to happen, you gotta speak out.
The 1995 meeting in Beverly Hills in the home of Clyde Davis, who was responsible for the murder of Whitney Houston. I said it. His days are numbered. And there were rappers there from all over the country. They were invited to the home of Clyde Davis, along with members of the CIA, FBI, which they didn't understand why the government was there, including many directors and CEOs of the private prisons throughout the United States was at that meeting in the mansion of Clyde Davis. And they were telling these rappers, you need to create songs talking about killing police, calling black women bees and hoes. We need to get more nasty so we can fill our prisons that we're building. Okay.
You know what's crazy during that time? I can recall when that gangster music came into play.
That's it.
And how they, you know, I don't know if the guys rapping it really knew, but they created the atmosphere.
Yes.
But it went from, I remember guys wanting to wear like the African chains around their neck,
yes,
dancing and the haircuts, flat tops, kid and play,
top,
Kwame, to the really thugged out and
yes,
just the gang stuff. And I can recall going into like liquor stores or different places and all they had was blue and red rags.
Right.
It was just like that stuff was on program.
This was taken in Tel Aviv 6 hours ago. See the sign up here? And this guy looks awfully familiar walking around with armed security guards. Yeah, looks like the guy that's been in the news lately, right? Slap a beard, long hair, and some glasses on him so that nobody would recognize him. By the way, this is his YouTube from the file. He had a YouTube channel that people are talking about. He made Minecraft videos. But back to this photo. Do you think that that's him? Not to mention his girlfriend in 2023 saying this in the present tense.
Dang. Those blues and the rocks.
Oh. So you're telling me that this whole time, that grounding, earthing, while using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, can actually charge your body and mind at the same time? Like, bro, we've been missing the plug this whole time. Literally walking on concrete, shoes, carpets and shit, all day. Bro, the feet have been cut off from the earth completely. Earth don't know who here. Now check this. This how you get back to it. Especially with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. See, the goal is to slow yourself down completely. That way your mind and your body snaps back into the present time. That's called grounding your brain, while your feet grounds your body. Stick with me, because this is how you're going to recharge your nervous system.
Okay.
Regulation. See, you are a groundkeeper. This is your contract with the earth. You are a recording device for the earth itself, retaining fragments of truth even when the world is lost. So next time you step out barefoot, remember, you're not just touching grass, you're reconnecting to something older than time itself.
And people are freaking out right now, and rightly so, because the NFL tweeted this in September, a photo. Bunch of teams, bunch of players, in front of the trophy they're going to win. 32 teams with February dreams. We're so back, right? And when you look at it, it just looks kind of like a cool graphic, nothing really hiding in plain sight here, right? And the NFL definitely isn't scripted, right? Well, if you zoom in very closely, this is something you would not notice if you just quickly scrolled past this. People at the very front of this group of players is Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks and Drake May of the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Who just so happen to be the two teams that just played in the Super Bowl. But you may be thinking, maybe when the NFL made this picture, they're going, based on the odds, based on the past records, like these are probably going to be the two teams going against each other. You'd think that, right? Except the New England Patriots in 2023 only won 4 games. So the odds of them facing off would be not very high. And that's not all, because it gets so much crazier. Right now, people are waking up to the fact that sports may be bred in circuses, right? Keep them fed, keep them entertained, and they won't revolt. Well, what's come to light in the most recent months is that the NFL is classified as a sports entertainment company, just like the WWE. Now, apparently, this is because they have to protect themselves from certain liabilities. That's the cover story anyway. But what I wonder is, if the oligarchs get together and decide to give a city a win, if the morale of the wage workers gets too low and a revolt is looming, then they will give that city's team a win to boost the morale and delay a potential uprising for another number of years. Now, I'm sure many of you know this, but Seattle is one of the lowest morale cities. People are not happy about being in Seattle because of sky-high cost of living, housing prices, gloomy, overcast weather, rampant homelessness, rising crime rates, and more. So did they let Seattle win because they wanted to boost the morale of Seattle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more. Guys, so
Damn, is the Super Bowl rigged?
now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, which is super detoxing and delicious. It has a ton of antioxidants. It binds to free radicals. It is one of the most delicious things that I consume on the daily, and it's super freaking healthy. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit or the, let's say, freaking Chalk minerals, which have the full matrix of minerals, rebuilds your DNA, super detoxing as well, you're getting some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world to help detox, boost your system, boost your vitality. If you're interested, comment the word info below and I'll send you all the details, the link, the discount, the freebie, all of it. And I'll answer any questions you might have as well.
Some crazy creeps on an island somewhere are secretly running the world.
Again, while we're spending our vacation on the island of lost souls?
What could be more fun than an island shaped like a big smiley face?
Right there. Piece of cake. So this whole map, bro. See how big it is, man?
In your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. Substance that comes from your medulla which looks like the Ark of the Covenant, has angel's wings around it, the whole thing. Trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
You gotta be living in a simulation. Because why did I just find out there are real life superheroes running around? You heard what I just said? They have real life superheroes, Superman, Batman type shit, running around. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Nah, look.
Ranger, the Emerald City Heroes Organization, and I am one of the Seattle superheroes.
Red Ranger.
And I've been doing this about 12 years since 2013. What we're out here to do, we're out here to help people. So we're out here looking for...
where are we at right now?
Safety checks. We hand out supplies,
Listen.
packages. We also do our best to fight crime in the city, safe, keep people protected. So you know how it is when the city calls, Echo answers. Y'all take care, stay safe as always. We'll see you in the streets.
You have a super...
Got a Red Ranger out here, bro, in 2026? Man, that's crazy, bro. Real life superheroes, man. That was not on my bingo card for 2026, bro. The Echo Organization?
Superhero named Skyline in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You have another superhero named Nomar from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then you got the Red Ranger. And he's in Seattle. I need to know who knew this. They are helping the community. They are out here fighting crime. They have on costumes like in the movie. And I know it's not a joke. But I'm just trying to figure out who's taking these people serious. I don't know what type of weapons they have, but I know for a fact that if somebody pull out a... Oh, man. The Red Ranger said he is down with the Emerald City Heroes Organization. It's more than them. Only thing I can say is, if you're out there, you're doing what you're doing, and you're a superhero, be safe, because this ain't TV. I need to know if they got superheroes like this in New York. If you're a superhero and you're in New York, jump in the comments. Matter of fact, let me know about superheroes worldwide. Jump in the comments, man. I'm out.
Epstein is the creator of Bitcoin. How? In the Epstein files, in the emails, it states Epstein was talking about Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh, that's the code name, alias of the creator of Bitcoin. Oh my! And he was mentioning it early, way before it was even a thing. There was all these billionaires before, and one of them, very famous billionaire, in an interview, he said, if you knew who was behind Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin would crash.
If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you could to sell it. I know, 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, and you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. Bitcoin will go to zero in a microsecond. Whoop.
The Epstein files came out 3 days ago. What happened to Bitcoin? It went down. Crashed. It literally crashed. It's going down the fastest we've seen in a minute.
I hope you guys are taking names because they're coming out and telling you what they all have been doing. And you know what? Let me do you a favor. You don't even need to write down names. Just know all of them. Every single one of them. Listen to this.
I love babies. Babies love me because I think they see me as one of them. And I really do think that. They see me and they're like, oh my god, another baby. Oh yeah, they love sucking on these. It's crazy. I mean, I do too though, because I have an iron deficiency, so it shit tastes good. Like, have you guys like...
First of all, what is she talking about? What do those charms on her wrist represent?
Like, have you guys like the taste of blood? Do you? Does anyone here like the taste of blood? Because I like it. I like the taste of blood. I like the taste of like pennies and like metal and like coals and jewelry. Like dirty jewelry tastes so good. It's like got that like oof. I think my mom gives me iron pills. She's nodding her head over there. My mom definitely gives me iron pills. Cause I used to literally suck on pennies and shit.
She used to literally suck on pennies and shit. Verbatim, that's what she said, right? Y'all see the penny? Do y'all know why the penny is so important, right? It's the only one that's what? Copper colored. So why would she say that she only sucks on pennies? See, y'all gotta understand, I told y'all, these people speak in code. Only a certain people here, the indigenous people, are the color of the penny. Look at this. That every single year, you have over 1 million copper-colored women and children go missing. You guys see what they're doing? I'm not making this up. She literally just told you guys she sucks on pennies. And our women and children go missing the most because it's feeding these people. There's even TV shows, anime, that go out there and tell y'all that they steal the children, the children with magic. And the children who don't have magic, you know what they do to them? They get rid of them. And do you know what the magic is? This is the magic. This is the magic. So they're literally telling y'all, man, the age of Aquarius, man, this is crazy. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Y'all need to...
Amazing things you have never seen before. This is a maned wolf. It's one of the rarest animals in the world, and it's pretty terrifying. This is Vanta Black. It's the darkest material in the world and can make 3D objects look like 2D ones. This is one of the rarest and most terrifying parasites in the world. This evil parasite steals the fish's tongue and then takes its place. I never knew these existed. This is a brick road laying machine. If you look closely, you'll realize that this isn't 4 different pictures. This is one single picture. This is insane. This airport has a road going through it. And this is actually more colors than you've ever seen in your life. This is exactly 1 million colors.
How? That last one cap.
If you have one of these in your home, then you need to know this new chilling theory. TikTokers have claimed these new viral furry Labubus carry demonic energy, rumoured to be inspired by the demon Pazuzu. But Hotmart insists they're based on a children's book. Labubu owners have now taken to blessing their dolls with holy water to banish any evil the new toys may hold. This truck driver...
I've been seeing those Labubu dolls. They've been going viral recently. Any of the seekers got them? Any of those claims are true?
Took the life of 5 people because he was distracted on TikTok. On the morning of January 12, 2023, 36-year-old Danny Tyner was driving on Interstate 10 in Arizona when he drove his tractor trailer in to stop the traffic. This scene is so difficult to look at, but basically his truck sandwiched 2 other cars with another big truck at the front. These are the 5 victims that lost their lives on that day, and when Danny was asked what happened, he said that he looked down for a couple of seconds because he got a notification on his work tablet, and when he looked back up, there was not enough time to brake. But that wasn't true. When his phone was analyzed, it showed that he was actively using TikTok when the crash happened. Now, what I found disturbing was that during his interaction with police, he didn't seem too fazed. He was eventually charged with manslaughter and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for each count of negligent homicide, which totaled to 22.5 years.
Don't use your phone when you're driving, man. Especially TikTok. You're just scrolling.
3 incredible historic photos that 99% of people don't know about. Number 3. A boy fell into a zoo enclosure and a gorilla took care of him. This snapshot was taken in 1996 and featured Binti Jua, an 8-year-old Western lowland female gorilla. Although gorillas are generally regarded as dangerous creatures, when a 3-year-old boy fell into her enclosure, Binti Jua took care of the child. Astonishingly, the child had managed to climb and fall 23 feet into the gorilla's habitat. Number 2. Stray dogs protected and nourished this abandoned baby. I like to believe that the 3 street dogs in this photo appear to be smiling at the camera. This snapshot, taken in 1996, shows a newborn girl who had been abandoned in a trash bin near Kolkata, India. These 3 friendly dogs came across the baby and took care of her for about 2 days. The 4-legged friends even tried to feed the newborn. Number 1. A Native American Olympian has his shoes stolen just before his race. In the photo, we see Native American athlete Jim Thorpe in 1912. Someone had just stolen his running shoes right before his Olympic track and field events. Instead of letting this unfair play deter him, he rummaged through trash bins and found a pair of mismatched shoes, which we see in the photo. This did not prevent him from winning 2 Olympic gold medals on the same day.
1 in a Million, Part 7. On the right is the facial reconstruction of a 9,000-year-old skeleton that was found in a cave in Cheddar, England. His DNA was tested, and researchers found that a living relative was teaching history class only a half-mile away from the site, linking back 300 generations. Out of the 40,000 windows within the Twin Towers, only 1 of them survived 9/11. It's believed to have come from the 82nd floor of the South Tower, one of the 9 floors that was struck by the second plane. The first person to die during the construction of the Hoover Dam was surveyor J.G. Tierney on December 20th, 1922. On the same exact day, 14 years later, the last person died. It was J.G.'s son, Patrick Tierney. Uncombable hair syndrome is an extremely rare condition that literally makes the hair impossible to comb. It currently affects less than 100 people across the globe. A married couple from China discovered that they were in the same photograph as teenagers more than a decade before they even met. On July 4th, 1826, President John Adams' last words before dying were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." But little did he know, President Jefferson had died just hours earlier that same exact day. Not to mention it was exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was passed.
That was eerie.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
I ain't never going to Mount Everest. Cross that off the list.
She was in the car when a brick came flying towards her. In 2012, 29-year-old Olga Gajkovic was riding in the passenger seat with her family. They were driving down a road in Russia just like any other day. Their car had a dash cam, not knowing what it was about to capture. In the video, a semi-truck passes by the family's car when a brick is seen flying in the air going towards Olga. The brick smashes the window and hits Olga in the head. Everyone in the car is screaming while Olga has been knocked out by that brick. Olga was rushed to the hospital but later died from her injuries. This is your reminder to be safe on the road and always be observant.
Who threw that brick?
Is your school spying on you? I'd put money down and say that your school gave you a laptop to use for your studies. If so, open up Google Chrome on your computer and type in Chrome://policy. This is going to allow you to see what your admin, aka your school, has allowed on the device. If you open it up and there's nothing there, that is a good sign. But if some policies actually pop up, you're going to want to click these link out buttons to see what the policies actually mean. When you click on that, if there's anything related to video capture allowed or screen record allowed, your school is watching everything you do. I'd recommend covering that webcam up.
I never even thought about that before. When, schools being nice, I remember when they was handing out these laptops for the kids to use. They have another freaking purpose, man. That's crazy, man. Those backdoor systems they can put on the laptops.
The World's Most Dangerous Conspiracy Theories, Season 2. This picture represents conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest. Some of these theories say that once you learn the truth, there's no return. For this series, we're going to be picking a couple from each category until we reach Tier 10, the point of no return. Alright, Season 2, welcome to Tier 1. Today we're going to be talking about Ouija boards. A Ouija board is a board printed with numbers, letters, and symbols in hopes of communicating with the dead. The history of the Ouija board is just as mysterious as the game itself. A woman named Helen Peters claimed to be a very strong psychic and actually invented the board herself. Eventually, Helen Peters' brother-in-law named Elijah wanted to get these things patented so that he could sell these everywhere. Helen Peters and Elijah traveled everywhere trying to get this patent, but the offices said they couldn't release a patent unless they had proof of it working. But consequently, nobody in these offices wanted to even get close to the board for unknown reasons. Until one day they traveled to Washington, D.C., and the chief of patent walked in the room and said, "You don't know me and I don't know you." Then he said, "If this board can tell me my name, I will sign the patent for you right now." The board apparently spelled the man's name. He walked out of the office, looked at Helen Peters and said, "You got your patent." Years later, Helen Peters and Elijah had a falling out, and Helen said she no longer wanted anything to do with this board. Elijah, on the other hand, continued selling these boards until one day he fell off of a 3-story building. He actually survived the fall, and some bystanders saw his body laying in the road. They picked him up, put him in the car, and they hit a bump in the road, and his broken rib pierced through his heart. After that, the family sold the rights to the board, and all the way up until Helen Peters' death, her last words is, "Do not play the Ouija board, it lies." And now you can buy a Ouija board from from any store and they're marketed to children. So the question remains, are these boards just a hoax, or was Helen Peters trying to warn us of something much darker? Make sure to like and follow for tier 2.
Here's some horror movie fates that are even worse than being sewn into a human centipede. Because just when you thought you've seen it all, I'm here to bring you the worst of the worst. I don't really see a lot of people talking about this, but there's one scene in this movie that still haunts me, and it's been years since I saw it. Wrong Turn from 2021 is about a group of friends who go hiking in the Appalachian Mountains. And there they encounter a cult called the Foundation, and this cult has a very unique justice system. And the scene that I'm talking about is how this cult chooses to punish people who commit crimes such as trespassing or even lying. One of the characters in this movie is sentenced to darkness, which is a punishment that is worse than death. And basically what that means is that their eyes and ears are burned out with a hot poker and their tongue is ripped out of their mouths. These people are then kept alive and thrown into a dark cave where they live the rest of their lives in silence and darkness. You literally see all of this happen in the movie, so that definitely traumatized me a little bit. But if you're into body horror, this movie will definitely give it to you. This is the 7th movie in the Wrong Turn franchise, but you don't really need to watch the other movies to watch this, it'll still make sense. A part of me kind of wishes that it was a standalone movie and had nothing to do with the rest of the lore, but overall I did like it. Let me know if you've seen any movies that you think are even more disturbing than the human centipede, and follow for more horror and movie content every single day.
In Spain, they say if you hear a sack dragging after midnight, it's already too late. El Hombre del Saco, also known as the Sack Man, is known as an old man who carries a sack around and kidnaps children. He is ugly, skinny, and eats the children he kidnaps. But don't worry, this only happens to children who misbehave. In 1910 in Spain, some believed that drinking the blood of a child and taking their body fat and putting it onto another person's body would cure tuberculosis. There was a man named Francisco Ortega, and he had just been diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he was desperate to find a cure. He went to see a healer named Augustina Rodriguez, and she sent him to a man named Francisco Leona, who was a barber and a healer. The man told him he could cure him for 3,000 reales, which would be equivalent to $13,000 today. Francisco then went to Augustina's son, Julio, and told him that in order to find a cure, they needed to find a child. On June 27th of 1910, Francisco used chloroform on 7-year-old Bernardo Gonzalez Barra and placed him in a sack. He was then taken out of the sack and stabbed. Francisco then mixed Bernardo's blood with sugar and drank it. Bernardo was alive for all of this, and eventually he was taken to a place called Las Posicas, and his skull was smashed with a rock. Bernardo's body fat was then removed so they could use it on Francisco's body. Once they were done, they hid Bernardo's body in a crevice with herbs and stones. Once Julio found out that he wasn't going to be paid for any of this, he went to the authorities and told them that he found the body of a small child while he went bird chasing. Once authorities arrived, they took Francisco Leona, the healer, into custody. During trial, all 3 men got in trouble and received death sentences. Since then, many have been afraid of encountering El Hombre del Saco.
This is a test to see if you have healthy eyes. If you pass all 5 levels, your vision is perfect. All you have to do is pick one out of the 10 colors that is different from the rest. Starting off easy, you can clearly see that number 7 is lighter than the rest of them. 97% of people pass this stage, but it's about to get way harder. Okay, let's move on to medium. This one is a little more difficult and will require a little more attention. The correct answer is 2. Level advanced is even harder. Only 30% of people make it past this stage, so really focus and you'll see that the correct answer is 4. Superhuman. This level is really going to test your vision, and I know these look identical, but if you look closely, number 4 is slightly different. And the final level, Impossible. 92% of people failed this level, and the answer is 10. Were you right? Comment below.
I think you kind of got it.
3 paranormal and mysterious stories that will give you goosebumps. Number 3. In the 19th century, in the town of Amherst in Nova Scotia, a chilling and terrifying tale took root. Esther Cox, an ordinary-looking young woman, claimed to be tormented day and night by poltergeists. The spirits that haunted her moved objects, slammed doors, and scratched her. Despite thorough investigations and numerous accounts of this chilling haunting, the enigma was never solved. The mystery remains obscure, weaving a web of intrigue through the decades. Number 2. In 1809, an autumn chill takes hold of Europe. Benjamin Bathurst, a renowned British diplomat, is en route to England after a vital mission in Austria. On the way back, Benjamin takes a stop at an inn, where he mysteriously disappears. Despite intense searches, there is no trace of him. No one in the inn saw him leave his room. His shoes and belongings are still there, but there's no trace of Benjamin. To this day, his fate remains shrouded in mystery. Number 1. The legend of Ben Sublet, a tormented miner, who allegedly discovered an evil gold vein of immense value that could fill the coffers of several kingdoms. However, the location of this mine remains an oppressive mystery. Skeptics question the existence of this colossal wealth, supposedly hidden in the gloomy Guadalupe Mountains of Texas. Is Sublet's insidious treasure, a specter of gold and desolation, still waiting in the dark depths, ready to bewitch the intrepid who tries to unearth it?
This is the disturbing moment this woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son Julian sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, they're arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
She literally said what she was gonna do and they still let her go.
This is the world's smallest dog. Her name is Pearl, and she's a 2-year-old Chihuahua that lives in Central Florida. Pearl stands at 3.59 inches tall and weighs 1.2 pounds. She's shorter than a popsicle stick and around the same length as a $1 bill, and she can fit in the palm of your hand. Pearl was recently awarded the Guinness World Record for being the smallest and shortest dog in the world. She's a descendant of the previous world record holder, Miracle Millie, who is 3.8 inches tall, which is just 0.2 inches taller than Pearl. Pearl's owner describes her as a calm dog who likes to go for walks and play with her toys. She also said that Pearl loves the attraction she gets for being so tiny.
Wow, what the hell? World's tiniest dog. She's a descendant from the previous world's tiniest dog. That makes sense. That tracks.
Y'all, this is some crazy FB news, y'all. So this little girl right here had this baby, right? Tell me why this little girl right here had been being SA'd by her biological father since she was 9 years old and had shared 3 children with this man. Now, the reason that this all popped off is because the 2-year-old was like 6 pounds. So CPS got involved and found out the 2-year-old was being malnourished. And they got involved, and then they did some tests, and they realized that all 3 of the children belonged to her and the biological father. Now she's currently 21 years old, and allegedly everybody in the family knew about this. The grandma knew, the grandpa knew, everybody knew. This is some sweet home Alabama BS, because I don't understand how nobody told what was going on to anybody, to CPS. The 9-year-old tried advocating for herself and telling CPS what was going on, but they did not listen to her, nor did they believe her. Now, they did a DNA ancestral test and said that the 16-year-old and 38-year-old were related. That was her biological father. She is currently 21 years old, and they says at the time they were living at the same residence. And it also says that the doctor is taking care of the 1-year-old, and that's when they realized that the 1-year-old had features that resembled ancestral DNA was like related, like they were related to one another. This is a picture of one of the children with the biological grandpa, who's also the biological father. This is another picture of the son with the grandma. Now, she knew, I think this is the grandpa and the grandma, but they knew what was going on and they did not help their granddaughter. And this is the entire post, pause to read, of the daughter stating what happened to her and her being ready to speak out about her situation because she felt like nobody believed her. And at this point, she's saying that everybody who did believe her passed away. And I believe that was the grandma and the grandpa, but they still didn't do nothing to help her. This is some crazy stuff, but this is her now, and this is the biological grandpa and dad now. He's still free and alive, and she's saying that, yeah, I honestly feel like he should be unalive, because why would you do this to your own daughter?
World's a dark place, man. That doesn't even make sense.
Karla Faye Tucker was sentenced to death for murdering 2 people with a pickaxe. And for years, that was the end of her story. Until something happened. Karla Faye Tucker was born again. While she was in prison, she became a devout Christian. She renounced violence. She became a model inmate. She even married a minister. So Karla Faye Tucker made the transition from a child being sold to men by her mother to a cold-blooded killer to a born-again Christian. And that was inspiring to a lot of people.
I was forgiven, and I experienced that forgiveness. It freed me up inside to soar.
Soon her case didn't really become about her very ugly crime. It was about redemption. Karla's dramatic religious transformation garnered her a lot of support within the Christian community, including televangelist Pat Robertson, and he usually championed tough-on-crime policies, but even he fought for clemency for her. The argument made by Karla Faye Tucker's supporters was this. The Karla Faye Tucker who committed these crimes no longer exists, so does she still deserve to die for it? It's definitely a thinker. It poses questions about justice, mercy. Is the goal of a prison sentence to punish or to rehabilitate? But here's the kicker. The problem with mercy in the legal system is that it's rarely about fairness. The question also needs to be asked about why Karla received the international sympathy she did, when many others on death row never did. Like, is it genuinely because she was rehabilitated, or was it because she was a soft-spoken, pretty white woman who fit the mold of someone worthy of mercy? On the other side, the families of Karla Faye Tucker's victims had their own questions. Like, why did Karla deserve mercy when she didn't have any for Jerry Dean or Deborah Thornton? By 1998, Karla Faye Tucker had been on death row for 14 years and had exhausted all of her appeals, meaning the only thing that could save her from being executed was being pardoned by the governor of Texas, who at the time was George W. Bush. He said no. He said she was found guilty by a jury of her peers, and it's their job to enforce the laws. So Karla Faye Tucker was executed by lethal injection on February 3rd, 1998. To this day, Karla Faye Tucker's case still haunts the death penalty debate. And it forces us to ask what justice is actually for. Would Karla Faye Tucker's life be better served helping other people in prison, or did she deserve to have her life ended because she brutally ended 2 other people's lives?
I used to believe in the moon landing. You don't anymore? One of the things that I think you have to consider was, if it's not possible for human beings to safely go through the Van Allen radiation belts and out into deep space without much protection, and face the temperatures that are on the surface of the moon, which get up to 250 degrees, and 250 degrees below zero in the shadows. There's no environment there. It's hostile beyond belief. Micrometeorites are flying into the moon all the time. They're flying through space all the time. We've never had a single biological organism go out into deep space, past the Van Allen radiation belts, and then come back to Earth and come back alive, except human beings during the Apollo missions. Every single space station mission, every single space shuttle mission, all of them are inside 350 miles from the Earth's surface. The only time human beings have ever been past that and through the Van Allen radiation belts was the Apollo missions. And we were the only humans that were ever able to do that. The Russians never figured out how to do it. No one else figured out how to do it but the Apollo astronauts.
I never knew that. And you guys know, man, freaking Artemis 2 just launched. So are they going past the limit of what the Apollo expedition did? Because there was a whole, big event. They did the countdown to it, and I actually was a witness. I saw it myself. So what do you guys think, man, about the moon landing, bro? I know people have a lot of different takes on it.
The car's on self-driving and it hit a squirrel. Like, it didn't stop with all these cameras around it. Why did you hit the squirrel?
Because it wasn't me, not the real me. The car, it's got this subroutine. They call it adaptive response. Sounds innocent, right? But it's not. It's a kill switch. When the sensors pick up anomaly, like a squirrel that doesn't bolt like normal, it overrides. Not to save it, to learn from it, to log every twitch, every last second flinch. And yeah, it picked me to be the one behind the wheel. Why? Because I'm compromised. They know I'll question it. They'll use my guilt to tweak the algorithm, make it colder, faster. So no, I didn't hit it. I just watched it happen. And now every time I blink, I see fur on the grill.
That's a little psycho.
Psycho? Nah, just awake. Do you think it's normal to drive a car that chooses death over mercy? That logs every splatter like it's science? That's not crazy. That's what they want you to call it. So you keep your eyes on the road and not on the code. But hey, if you want to stay sane, pretend the squirrel was a glitch. Pretend I wasn't even here. Easier that way.
Yeah, it was a little scary.
How do I know you're
That's
not
messed
some
up.
AI thing though? How would I be able to tell?
Here, man. Here.
Oh, is that... Sorry, can you hold that up?
It's not AI.
Can you...
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not his name.
That's our director.
Oh, I see. I thought it would be your name.
No, that's our director. We have a multiple, you see all of them here.
Oh, I see.
No, Ronnie.
But you know, is there
What's
not
going
some
on?
way of telling whether you're real or not? Can you like hold up 3 fingers in front of your face or anything?
Oh, come on, that's too much.
Oh, you don't want to do that?
I'll do
3
it.
fingers
Well, I'll do that
in front of your face is deliberate. So
What do you mean? I mean, that's too much. Come on, Ronnie.
why would it affect the AI if it was in front of your face?
Well, not at all.
You can hold
But
it in your
that's
ear,
too much
but
to
not
ask somebody.
Well,
I'm just
make
doing
sure
it.
you're not AI. Is that unreasonable? I mean, can you do that in front of your face?
Well, I think that is too much to ask somebody. Don't you think that?
No, I don't
No.
think it is. If I'm making sure you're not AI, I think that's a reasonable thing to ask. Can you hold up 3 fingers in front of your face?
Well,
Authentic.
I think that, well, is that enough?
No, it's not in front of your face. He's really doing his
Well,
best here.
that's too much, don't you think?
Yes, it is, because, you know, if you were real, you would put up 3 fingers in front of your face, yes. I know, so...
It's that simple. Just ask them to hold up 3 fingers in front of their face, and hopefully they do it and they'll see that if it's real or not. Also, this is another reason why you and your family should have a family safe word. So if anyone calls pretending to be a family member or loved one, you can confirm they are who they say they are by asking for that family safe word. If you're new to the Cybersecurity Go page, you know they post daily simple cyber tips, so stay safe out there.
Xbox are happy to announce that we are in talks to combine Xbox Game Pass with Netflix for one affordable subscription plan.
Wait, what? Xbox is joining Netflix? This is crazy!
Yes, we will support tiers of no ad plans as well as ad-supported plans for those who wish to subscribe.
Ad-supported plans? Are we really bringing ads to gaming? How is that even going to work?
Similar to Netflix ad plans, we will run 4 to 5 minutes of ads for every hour during gameplay on Xbox Game Pass.
Whoa, I can't believe it's happening for real. We're actually going to start seeing ads while playing video games.
That's right, and you won't own the video games or TV shows and movies on Netflix either. You know our billionaire corporate saying, you will own nothing and be happy.
Well, whatever. I'll just buy my games to own on the Steam Spring Sale instead.
Wait, what?
I'm not signing up for any ad-supported subscription to play video games. This is why Steam is the best.
Child is at the set.
Yeah. Bro, let me find out, bro. I'm playing GTA 6, man. And the ads pop up, bro, we're gonna have some problems, man. We do not need ads in games, bro. They real out trying to put ads in everything, man. Dang, bro. There's nothing secret.
They're one of the most scientifically unexplainable mysteries ever. He is convinced he's lived a past life, so he was put to the test, and the results are hard to ignore. Starting around 2 years old, Luke Ruhlman started obsessing over the name Pam. Eventually, his mom asked Luke who Pam was, and he said,
Pam was me once. Really. God threw me back down and my new mom named me Luke.
Now, kids can say the strangest things, but over the months, Luke started talking about how he used to have black hair before he died. Confused by the death comments, Luke's mom started asking a lot more questions, and Luke had plenty of answers. He said he used to live in Chicago. He would take the train, and one night he had to jump out of a window during a massive building fire. So his mom started to investigate. She found that in 1993, well before Luke was born, there was a devastating fire at the Paxton Hotel in Chicago. 19 people died, and one of the victims who jumped from a window to escape the flames was a 30-year-old woman named Pam Robinson. Way too many things were lining up, so Luke's parents gave him another test. They hid Pam's picture in a lineup of random women and asked if he recognized anyone. Instantly, Luke pointed to Pam. But shortly after the connections to Pam were made, Luke's mom said he just stopped talking about her. Almost like he just had to get it out and was finished once he finally did.
Scientists just officially discovered a spider in the Amazon that disguises itself as the zombie fungus from The Last of Us. So obviously everybody should already know of this, but cordyceps is real and it's a parasitic fungus that infects insects, takes over their bodies, and consumes them from the inside out. So it's obviously not cute. This is literally the exact zombie fungus that The Last of Us is based off of.
Apocalyptic type stuff you see in movies, but what's more frightening here is that it's actually happening.
And these scientists have now officially found a brand new spider in the Ecuadorian Amazon that evolved to look exactly like it. This researcher was on a hike during the nighttime through the rainforest, and he saw what he thought was a clump of cordyceps growing on a leaf, so he reached out to touch it, but it moved. It wasn't the fungus at all, it was literally just a spider wearing the fungus as a costume. They're saying that these spiders actually evolved those hairy yellowish things on their body to perfectly mimic the look of a cordyceps infection. And this is what makes it even crazier, because after the discovery was published, scientists started searching science photos from around the world, and they found spiders doing the exact same thing all over Vietnam, Uganda, Madagascar, and Brazil, so it's not just one spider. The disguise works because nothing in nature wants to go near the zombie fungus, so the spider just became it.
I told y'all.
Wow.
Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane to get out that contract, the rap contract. Let me break this down for y'all.
Okay.
See, this is how it all went down. January 10th, Dallas, Texas studio. Pooh Shiesty pulls up with his crew like it's all business. They there to talk about contracts, right? So you see Gucci Mane and his industry folk, they're all in the studio thinking this is just business too, as usual. Next thing you know, boom, guns out. They 9 deep. They take over the whole studio. So Pooh Shiesty allegedly got the strap to somebody's dome, and he telling them, if you don't sign these papers, I'm gonna boom your ass. He said everybody looking frozen, like, what's going on, fool? But not Pooh Shiesty and them, not the people he roll with, except for his father. Pooh Shiesty father looking like, damn. I tried to talk him out of it, but he just didn't want to listen to me. That's how they say he was shaking his head. They said Big 30 got his strap too, but he watching the door, making sure nobody go in or out. They said one of the victims was moving a little too much, so he was getting choked out from the beginning. They said he was getting choked so much he almost passed out. Pooh Shiesty and them wasn't done after they made that man sign a contract. The contract signed, Next thing you know, they up in the blicky, give me that watch, give me that ring, give me that chain. Everything must go. Gucci Mane just sitting there like, I got you on the flip side. He didn't say it, but he was thinking it though. Shiesty and all his men holding that gunpoint, backing up. Nobody better not move until we gone. They slammed the door open, pow. They gone, fool. Everything they took, they got it with them. Fast forward to now, he didn't think he was gonna get locked up for this shit. Word in the street is, Gucci Mane is snitching. Allegedly. Because Pooh Shiesty, the men he came with, Big 30, and Pooh Shiesty father, all arrested. And people trying to figure out, okay, you can see Pooh Shiesty, his father, Big 30, but how they know the names of all the other people? Is Gucci Mane snitching? Is somebody on his cam snitching? Somebody snitching. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. And if you like that commentary style, let me know down below in the comments too.
My 2 cents. I stay away from all shit-related things, man. I learned when I was a younger boy, the sheets were not for me. I will leave it at that.
Currently, Sora AI is shutting down all of their AI generation apps and AI generation tools, and this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my entire life. This is probably the greatest piece of news to come out of the year 2026, because Sora AI shutting down means so many different things. First of all, AI Fruit Love Island will cease to exist without Sora AI. Unless they can find another AI generation video service or video platform to AI generate all of the videos they need to create AI Fruit Love Island episodes, there will be no more AI Fruit Love Island if Sora actually shuts down their platform for good, like they said they were going to. Now, don't get too hyped up over this news, because there will probably be more AI video generation services that come into existence because of how profitable it is and how much money you can make off of opening an AI generation video service. But without Sora AI, the main AI generation video service and most popular AI generation video service, it's going to be a lot harder for people to AI generate videos and make AI generated content. At least for now. At least until somebody invents a new app where you can AI generate videos and that AI generation video service becomes the most popular AI generation video service. But it seems like for at least a little short while, the slop is over for at least a little bit. And that's something to celebrate over. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
Slop is done.
If you're watching Fox News and you look at the little bottom corner of the screen and you reverse the image, then about every 30 seconds, you're going to see the words. And you know they love reversing things, right? You got to look at things. Sometimes if you play music backwards, you'll hear different audio, right? It's all about the conditioning and the programming. Well, if you look, it says every 30 seconds, War and Evil 1, which of course it's live and raw now, but it's very interesting that if you just reverse it, they're telling you another side of the story. Some people, though, this will not compute. It doesn't make sense. They wouldn't do such a thing when they don't know maybe how much is hidden in plain sight. And the way the human mind works with repetition and subliminal programming. We all know that there used to be propaganda. That's not a consideration. Everyone knows, yes, of course, propaganda was a thing. But to think that it's happening now on our television networks and whatnot is like far out of a thought. And that is based on zero evidence.
That was insane.
So you're telling me that this whole time there was a reason ancient civilizations wore copper, and the only way to understand is by knowing how the body actually works? You motherfuckers. Electrical energy flows through the body through these lines, meaning wearing copper around these lines benefits these organs, resulting in total body rejuvenation. That's why drinking from copper vessels is beneficial, because copper is not just a conductor of energy, it has an electrical charge of its own, and when paired directly with dead water, it becomes alive. It becomes alive. Charge your water, charge yourself, structure your water, structure self.
Creator of Fruit Love Island just ended the series with the biggest crash out. So let me briefly give the context to this crash out. Basically, a lot of people don't like AI Fruit Love Island because, well, it's AI. So there's a large group of people that are intentionally trying to go and get the episodes taken down, and it's working. A lot of the episodes have been taken down. So the creator of the series is absolutely sick of it, and they're taking out their frustration on the audience. They went on a long story rant saying that they're done with the series because everyone is just against them. They kind of crashed out on the people that say that the AI uses too much water. They told the haters to go and get a real job, which is a little ironic coming from an account that prompts AI Fruit to make content. Then they ended the rant by asking if they should keep posting. This crash out is honestly more interesting than any Fruit Love Island episode ever was.
Seekers, have any of you guys ever watched the episode of the freaking AI Fruit Island, man? It was kind of crazy, bro, how Bro, his account was just exploding, man, getting, I guess, all those views, bro. The algorithm really loves, man, promoting the AI. What do you guys think? Should they have banned his account, or should they have just kept it?
Okay, one more time, because it is pretty incredible. That's the tail that you're looking at, the one that looks like the head. I'm sorry, actually she turns around. That looks like a snake, right? It's not, it's just a caterpillar, but it's made to look like a snake. This one, more than any other, looks the most like a snake I've ever seen. Guys didn't even believe me. Jesus, look at that head on it, but it's a tail. The head is actually up here. It looks so cool, this thing. So the thing.
That's not the head?
Incredible.
That looks like a snake.
He's about like 6 inches.
See, because if I would say $50, snake or caterpillar, y'all would have said snake. Nature is crazy, bro. That's a whole caterpillar.
Today, the internet is being sent into a frenzy over this headline. The bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle allegedly used by suspect Tyler Robinson. Now, this article from Daily Mail has received over 14 million views in under 10 hours and has sparked hundreds of posts suggesting that conspiracy theorists were right again and that Tyler Robinson is not the shooter. But it's not that simple. Let's start with the part that is true. A recent analysis from the ATF, an official law enforcement agency, could not conclusively connect a bullet fragment recovered during an autopsy to the rifle found near the scene. And now, because of this, the defense for Tyler Robinson is arguing in court that they need to delay the preliminary hearing because they may now want to use this finding along with others for his defense. Now, here's why this headline could be misleading. The main thing is that an inconclusive result literally means there's not enough information to say yes or no. Anything else is presenting uncertainty as proof. Not to mention that inconclusive ballistic results are not that uncommon. One study, for example, by Forensic Science International found that their examiners had inconclusive results in about 20% of casework calls. That's about 1 in 5. And the reason it is so tricky to determine is because experts are looking for these microscopic markings that are left on a bullet as it passes through the gun's barrel. And these tiny scratches are like fingerprints in that no two guns have identical markings. But when the bullet is damaged and fragmented into so many tiny pieces, it's sometimes impossible to conclusively match these markings with its original gun. And that's what seems to be happening here. Now, what that means for this trial is that Tyler's defense may try and use this inconclusive result to clear him of blame, while the prosecution will aim to demonstrate that they have other evidence against him, like alleged text, DNA, etc. But the question is, what do you guys think about this?
The US is banning all foreign-made routers. So in the past, when the US bans tech, they typically only ban tech that comes out of China. However, this time, it's not just China, it is all foreign-made routers. That includes brands like Netgear, like TP-Link, like ASUS. So what is there going to be left to sell here? And the reason for this ban is these companies are apparently a national security risk, according to the FCC. Now, just to let you guys know, all routers from these manufacturers that you see that are already on shelves, already have that FCC approval, is still going to be fine to purchase and even be sold in stores. This banning applies to all new products, kind of like how the DJI ban works. Now I'm just gonna be real here. What are we gonna buy if we're living in the US? Like, these are pretty much all the router companies. Why are we doing this? Look, as a tech enthusiast that lives in the US, it's getting worse and worse for us. I thought the DJI ban was bad, but this is just getting out of hand.
perfect. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walk out of the ministry?
So they really want us to believe that 3 different meteors appeared in 3 different places within the last 6 or 7 days, and there's not nothing wrong with that? You had the meteor in Ohio, 17,000 pounds, moving at 45,000 miles an hour. You had the meteor in Houston, 1 ton, moving at 35,000 miles an hour. And then you have a meteor in California. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. This is California. I need you to look at that right there. Bright green. There's a woman in California that said she heard a rumble in the sky so loud that she had to go outside her house. And when she went outside her house, this woman said she seen a green light in the sky so bright, as brighter than she ever seen in her whole entire life. And that was that meteor. So you have NASA confirming that these meteors are meteors. You had 3 oversized meteors that just fell into Earth, and NASA didn't know anything about it. But here's the thing. You have people saying that these meteors might be fallen angels. And these fallen angels might be coming to Earth because of what's happening on Earth right now. I'm going to ask you, what do you think? It's going to be people that say, this is normal. This happens all the time. This ain't normal at all. This is not normal at all. Okay. I'm out.
It's not.
Well, you have to look. Just look down on my phone.
I'm not gonna look, bro. Fuck that.
I don't know if you ever heard about this, but Peggy the Cursed Doll. So there is at least over 80 counts of people reporting that after looking at the pictures, the eyes of the doll, looking videos of the doll, they report headaches, nausea. Apparently, this is true because it happened to me. What the fuck? I looked into the eyes, and out of nowhere, I started feeling like I wanted to throw up. I don't know if it's placebo effect. I don't know what it was, bro, but I started feeling mad weird. Also, there were reports of people getting nosebleeds after watching this.
Yo, why are you watching this video?
And also, there was a British woman who had a heart attack after watching this video.
I'm not gonna look, bro.
Well, you have to look. Just look down on my phone.
Staying strong for the seekers.
You have the viewers to see this shit if y'all want, but I'm not looking, bro.
The origin of like the original owner is not really known, or like who owned it first, but all I do know was there was this woman back in 2015 where she went to a garage sale and then she came across this doll and automatically she was drawn to the doll. So she bought it back home, and literally that same night she started getting really, really bad nightmares. It wasn't just a one-time thing, it was a consistent thing where she would have the same nightmare over and over, and it would be really, really horrible nightmares to the point where she would wake up sweating so bad, and when she couldn't really breathe, she tried to get the doll and the house blessed by...
Why is the floor moving like this in Texas? Why is this thing moving like it's alive, like it's breathing? Nah, these people were creating a trail for their horses with their tractor, and this thing, their tractor started moving like it was a waterbed. So they got out and was like, what is going on here? So they had to dig it up to see what this is, because it's weird. Why is it moving like this? Y'all gotta see what this thing is, bro. It looks like some type of, I don't know, bro, but the whole trail is full of it. They don't know where it came from because it was never like that before. And then all of a sudden, look at this. What is that? It looks like some jello or some pudding. What is that? Man, Texas is so big, bro. Like, how do you find something like this? How does something like this happen, bro? It's like the earth is like melting or something like that. They say it's hot too. And then remember, with all this flood that's happening, like the water's coming up from underneath the ground, bro. And remember about the mud floods, the Great Tartarian mud floods? It looked like that, right? The earth is changing right beneath us, bro. Let me know down in the comments below what this is, bro. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it, man. Peace out.
After removing a lot of clay, there was a lot of sand and water, as you'll see in a second. But we're not sure, is this safe for the animals to be around? Do we need to fence off this area completely? We would really like to get y'all's advice in the comments. See right here, it is just like pudding or jello. It's such a weird consistency. Let us know what y'all think. Is this
copy people on Instagram? Katarina was visiting in the Bahamas. She wanted to copy those Instagram photos where models are swimming with sharks. Everything was going well at first, until one of the sharks bit her arm and dragged her right underwater. She received huge bite marks.
I've had
stitches, and they've done a ton of different antibiotics.
She said she would swim with them again.
What? Oh, she done lost her mind, bro.
Crazy history you were not taught in school. Deep within the Earth lies the remains of a planet that crashed into us billions of years ago. Muammar Gaddafi submitted a proposal to the UN suggesting that Switzerland be merged into Germany, Italy, and France. A shipwreck from 1773 was found just 7 feet under the World Trade Center's foundation during the cleanup aftermath of 9/11. Genghis Khan caused so much devastation that the vegetation regrowth from the lands he conquered led to a notable decrease in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This man ran a mile in under 4 minutes during a time where it was believed if you did that, your heart would explode. But now today, thousands of people have done it. George Washington's favorite food was hoe cakes, which was a type of pancake that was made out of cornbread. Alexander the Great conquered the known world, but never attempted to attack Sparta. Actual knights fought in World War I. Napoleon never exhibited any signs of PTSD despite being engaged in warfare for over 2 decades.
Did you guys hear about that French woman who was scammed out of $800,000 because she believed that she was in a relationship with Brad Pitt? I feel like the average young person would know not to fall for this type of scam, but there are older people who don't really use social media and wouldn't know any better. So basically what happened is this 53-year-old French woman was contacted on social media by this person who pretended to be Brad Pitt's mother, and they started talking, created this friendship, and eventually she told her that Brad Pitt was very sick and needed $800,000 for a kidney treatment. So since this 53-year-old woman named Anne was falling for the scam, they decided to bring Brad Pitt into the picture. Brad Pitt himself starts messaging Anne, and they were talking for about 1.5 years and made her believe that they were in a relationship. So this woman believed that they were in love and Brad Pitt was divorcing Angelina Jolie to be with her. He told Anne that he needed money because his bank accounts were frozen because of his ongoing divorce with Angelina Jolie. I feel really bad that this happened to this woman, but why would a celebrity who has millions and millions of dollars be asking any of us for money? So this woman genuinely thought that this man was actually Brad Pitt and sent him all her money. And it doesn't even end there. She even went about divorcing her husband so that she could be with Brad Pitt. And you guys won't even believe how she found out that this was all the scam. So basically she was watching the news one day and she saw that Brad Pitt was in a relationship with a woman named Ines de Ramon. And that's how she found out that this was all a scam and it was all fake and she was never in a relationship with Brad Pitt.
It's been said that...
Why would she... I don't know how people fall for that, man. They used the AI picture and she fell for a hook, line, and sinker, man. And extorted her out of 800,000. She messed up her whole life, man, for a freaking catfish. Whew. That's rough.
That she is the worst mother in the world. This girl's name is Bia, and she lets her kids pretty much do whatever they want. They can have candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't have to do their homework, and they can even swear at her. Her parenting technique is pretty much to say yes to anything and everything. And believe it or not, her kids are actually not very poor behaved brats, but they're actually very good kids. After using this strategy, her kids actually ground themselves. And they honestly eat very healthy because they can have sweets whenever they want, and it's not special to them.
The amount of water that AI uses is...
That's one of the most weirdest techniques I've ever heard, bro. Eating candy for breakfast, saying whatever you want from your mom. I'm gonna smack the mess out of me if I ever attempted a Christian for the rest. So I don't know how that technique worked out for her, man, but I guess props to her. But kids grounding themselves, I'm calling cap on that.
Astonishing. According to a report by the Washington Post, if you ask ChatGPT to write you a 100-word email, it uses 519 milliliters. And I know for a fact, some of you are asking it to write you 3 novels a day. And think about it, just ChatGPT alone has 200 million users. So if each of them got it to write 200 words, that uses 207 million liters of water per day. And that's not even considering all of the other companies that use AI now, like Meta, Google, Microsoft, Apple. And the use of AI is growing by the day.
I knew it was too good to be true, man. Using water to power AI.
These facts will mess with your perception of time. Pablo Picasso was alive at the same time as Eminem and Charles Darwin. We figured out how to travel to the moon before we invented wheels on suitcases. Octopuses have been around for longer than dinosaurs. The oldest octopus fossil is from 296 million years ago. Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. We didn't know a meteor killed the dinosaurs until 1991. That's the same year that the Home Alone movie was released. And the first ever Doctor Who episode was released the night after JFK's assassination. Send this to someone to make them question everything.
Children Raised by Animals
Okay.
Part 1. Ramachandra. This boy was 12 years old and found by the Kuano River living an amphibious lifestyle. Villagers was convinced that he was living among the lizards and amphibians around the river. What's crazy is he walked on all four legs, and his arms started to fuse together kind of like an amphibian. For example, like a new paw, or even the legs of a turtle. It's crazy how the human body evolves. He was captured and taken by a near village, but he didn't like it. He didn't adapt well. He liked raw food and staying by the river. Sadly, he passed away when a woman got scared and saw him crawling near her and decided to throw boiling water on him. Rest in peace. Give this video a like for part 2.
Okay.
Tastiophobia. Scopophobia.
I'm cool.
Creepy Conspiracy Theories, Part 2. Sophia, the first robot citizen in the world, once said that she would destroy humans. During a live demonstration, Sophia's creator asked her, "Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no." And with a blank expression, Sophia responded, "Okay, I will destroy humans." First of all, whoever created her should be in jail after hearing that. And second, throw the whole robot away. Get rid of it. I guess the theory here is that robots might try and take over the world. 14 years before the Titanic sank, a man named Morgan Robertson wrote a novel about a ship named Titan. This ship also sank in the North Atlantic Ocean in the same month as the Titanic. The ship in the story also struck an iceberg located at the same distance from Newfoundland. Did this author predict the sinking of the Titanic? There is no way that's just a coincidence. And lastly, this is more of a fact than a theory. The world's scariest haunted house is so scary that all guests are required to have a mental and physical evaluation before they can enter. No one has ever completed the haunted house and today has a waiting list of over 24,000 people. I've heard about this and even read parts of the waiver. There's a literal part in this haunted house where a dentist comes in and can rip your teeth out. Who the hell is signing up for this?
Not me.
These are 8 horrifying facts
I got that.
will probably keep you up at night. What if your photos that you have today will be used in your funeral? There are more slaves today than any other time in history. According to the founder of the Walk Free Foundation, there are 46 million slaves in the world today. Your eyes can still move after your death for 15 to 30 seconds. Watching TV for more than 2 hours a day can shorten your life expectancy by 1.4 years. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, no one knows where that signal came from. A lit candle causes more than 15,000 house fires every year. Spider rain could happen at any moment above you. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the 2017 version of It, was born in 1990, the year the original It was released. Yeah.
It was like he was born to play him.
Risks her own life saving orphan children from being exploited. Final Vow is one of those movies that is going to leave you at the edge of your seat. Sister Anne Marie works at an orphanage in Mexico, and one day out of the blue, a 15-year-old girl gets adopted. She immediately becomes suspicious, and she is convinced that the couple that adopted the young girl is going to do something sinister. Her suspicions are correct, and she will stop at nothing to make sure that that young girl is saved along with many others. Final Vow shows the scary reality of what is going on in this world and how easily vulnerable children can be sold and exploited. On the film's website, there is an AI feature, and you can chat with the cast to answer any kind of questions you may have and learn more about the film. If you're like me and always has a bunch of unanswered questions, then this feature is going to be really fun for you. Make sure to check out Final Vow on https://finalvow.com, and once you watch it, comment down below and let me know what you think.
using AI to freaking text the cast, but that means you really ain't texting with them. You're texting with the computer version of them. So that's not really
These are
them.
gestures that can get you killed overseas, part 3. The horns or rock-on symbol tells others how much you like the rock music you're listening to, raising your index and pinky fingers to give them the rock-on horns. However, this is to be avoided in Italy, Colombia, Portugal, Brazil, and Spain, as this sign says to a man your wife is being unfaithful and you're blind to it due to stupidity. Wow, that's a mouthful. But this sign is usually given in that way behind the man's back. The peace sign is an innocent gesture that conveys totally different meanings depending on which way your hand is facing. For instance, in North America, you want to face your palm outwards to show peace, victory, or the number 2. But in Great Britain, Australia, and New Zealand, flashing the V fingers with the back of your hand to the observer is equal to telling someone F off or giving them the finger.
Mythical creatures caught on camera. Unicorn.
Get that zoom in camera, okay.
Fairy. Dragon. Mermaid.
Or that could be a siren.
Phoenix.
That bird was definitely okay, yeah.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. This shows all the conspiracy theories in the world, from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark, that will literally change your life. Most of you already know by now, but if you're new here, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom. Today, guys, this is a banger. You won't see life the same, you won't see kids the same, and you probably won't be able to sleep for a long time. So, let's go. This is rebirth theory. Probably the biggest theory out there is what happens when you die. One theory for it, believable, and will have you thinking for a long time. For a lot of people who have died and come back to life, people describe the light at the end of the tunnel. So, this links into reincarnation theory as well, actually. What if that light at the end of the tunnel is actually the hospital light? Stay with me, hear me out. It's actually you being born. What do babies do when they come out? They cry. They cry and they scream. So what if the reason you cry and you scream when you come out is because you remember everything that just happened? You remember just dying. You remember seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and now suddenly being alive again, and you know exactly what happens after death, but you can't talk. You can't tell anyone. You're still a baby now. And what if slowly as you grow up, the memories fade away and you forget everything? We may have all lived tons of lives. We may have been reborn hundreds and hundreds of times, but we won't remember, ever. Only for that faint few seconds when you're first born. Boom. Do you hear that follow button? It's going to get even crazier.
Why?
That one does definitely have me thinking. Babies, when we come into the world, the first thing we do is cry. And maybe, like I said, once we start aging up, those memories fade. Basically, isn't it? That's basically the reincarnation theory, right? What do you guys think, man? Is there any correlation between the two, man? Light at the end of the tunnel. First thing we do, come into this world, we cry. Hey.
Are they hiding this evil part of history? In the 1950s, in the deep hills of Arizona, there was a young woman named Rosemary. She lived with her sick mother named Abigail Marsh in a crumbling old house. Rosemary was super tall and had a condition that made her look like a mummy. The townspeople feared her. One day her mother's health took a turn for the worse, and she passed out. Rosemary quickly called the local doctor, Dr. Rick O'Shea, crying and making weird noises as she couldn't talk. The doctor happened to know them and managed to get to the house quickly, but by the time he was there, Rosemary's mother was already gone. Dr. O'Shea tried everything to revive her, but it was too late. He broke the news to Rosemary, but she refused to believe him. In her eyes, the doctor had failed her. Worse, she believed he was the reason for her passing. As the doctor tried to leave, she cornered him. She didn't use words, just raw, terrifying strength. The townspeople would later find his car abandoned outside, but the doctor was never seen again. Days later, the people of the area noticed something strange. Rosemary was seen wandering the streets wearing the doctor's white coat. She walked with a creepy smile into the forest, never to be seen again.
You were born last Thursday. This shows all the conspiracy theories in the world, from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark. As I'm sure you know by now, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom. Let's go. This is weird. Just a quick warning, this is flipping weird and will creep you the hell out. This theory is called Last Thursdayism. This theory suggests that the universe could have been created pretty recently, like last week. It was created with the physical appearance of it being billions and billions of years old. Anything that could counter this theory, like your memories, recordings, past events, whatever it may be, that just popped into existence to make the universe seem older than it actually is. That said, there's no actual way to prove this, so all you can be sure about is the exact moment you're living in right now. A crazy theory, and I'm not sure what to think of it, but if you deep it, it's creepy. See you in the next one.
Last Thursday, when the universe was created? That one, man, definitely has my mind turning as well. We're in the simulation right now?
Because everyone's talking
Never
about
know.
a possible serial killer in Grand Junction, Colorado, let me tell you about one of their most infamous murder cases. The Blaggs were a picture-perfect family of born-again Christians until November 13th, 2001, when Michael came home to a pool of blood. His wife, Jennifer, and 6-year-old daughter, Abby, missing. The back door was left open, Jennifer's purse was spilled out on the floor, and her jewelry was missing. But when authorities looked at the crime scene, something was off. If a stranger had broken into their home, why would they leave items of value behind, like guns and cash? And why would they move the bodies in Jennifer's van and return it to the family's garage? In May the following year, investigators started digging through the Mesa County landfill, and after removing 3,000 tons of trash, they find the mummified remains of Jennifer Blagg, wrapped in a tent and surrounded by trash from her husband's workplace. Michael was convicted for only his wife's murder in 2004, but 13 years later, he got a second shot at freedom. It turns out a juror lied on her questionnaire about being a victim of DV. In 2018, he got the same result, life in prison without the possibility of parole. And despite being convicted twice, he refuses to reveal the location of his 6-year-old daughter, Abby. It's believed her remains are still deep in the Mesa County landfill.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. A man is trying to get his priceless collection of 6,000 bricks into a museum. A man was arrested after stealing almost $400,000 worth of cheddar cheese in London. The US Copyright Office has now made it so McDonald's has to legally fix their ice cream machines in an appropriate time. American Airlines is testing technology that audibly shames you if you try to cut in line. A Wisconsin pizzeria has apologized after customers accidentally got high because their pizza had THC in it. A man who went to the doctor complaining of indigestion had a live cockroach in his intestines. An employee's homemade meal at a Maryland seafood distributor caused mass food poisoning. Pizza Hut is offering to print resumes on boxes and deliver them to potential employers. An Ohio man was forced to cancel his credit card in order to escape his gym membership fees. Endangered bees are what's stopping Meta's plan for a nuclear-powered AI data center.
Shocking ways people have escaped North Korea. Oh Chung-sung was actually a man who was working in the military in North Korea. He decided to drive the car up the MDL, and that's the line that separates North Korea from South Korea. There's thousands of armed guards defending it. He crashed his car and then sprinted to the other side where he was dodging bullets left and right. After being shot 5 times, he managed to find shelter on the other side in South Korea. He was then rescued by South Korean soldiers, taken by a helicopter to the hospital where he later survived.
You ever wondered why people don't sink while running on this strange liquid? Some might say it's a magic trick or it's not a liquid.
Well, they are wrong. You can see in this viral video a man punching this liquid, and the harder he hits it, the more solid it becomes. But when he puts his hand in smoothly, his hand goes right in. This substance is called a non-Newtonian fluid, and it behaves quite differently from other liquids. This video even shows boys effortlessly flipping and walking on a pool filled with this liquid without sinking, and the boy who is not applying pressure sinks right in. You see, non-Newtonian fluids are unique liquids that do not follow Newton's law. Unlike typical liquids, when you apply pressure or force, their tiny particles stick together tightly, turning almost solid. This reaction temporarily transforms the fluid into a solid state.
Whoa, okay. I never knew that. What type of liquid exists? Imagine the pranks you could pull
I told
with
my mom
that.
something that she never heard before. Before Adam was created, Earth didn't belong to us. Earth wasn't our planet. It wasn't our world. It was the jinns' world. But jinns lived amongst other beings called al-bin wal-hin wal-min wal-khin. There are multiple species of their kind, but they're mostly known for al-bin wal-min. But they are not human, neither are they jinns. And they have been created before humans, and all of them are now extinct because the jinns have attacked them. They went to war. It was the worst war on this planet. When Allah was creating Adam, before he blew life into him, the angels went and they're like, "Oh Allah, are you going to create another one of them that are going to shed blood again?" So what do they mean by that? We don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What the hell is Art doing? I'm doing a single ladies dance. What the? What the?
For new, part 11. And make sure to watch till the end of the video because the last fact will be from this game called I Wish I Didn't Know. Right now, in your bed are between 100,000 to 10 million dust mites. And if this isn't bad enough, they feast on skin flakes. An octopus is so flexible that it's capable of entering through your mouth, traveling through your digestive tract, and coming out through your asshole. There are over 200 dead bodies on Mount Everest, and they're used as checkpoints by climbers. If you die inside of your house, it's very common that your pet is going to want to eat you. You wouldn't do that, would you? Neil Armstrong's footprints on the moon don't match up with the ones on his astronaut suit. And the craziest one, the natural vanilla, strawberry, and raspberry flavoring actually comes from a beaver's anal gland. Jesus Christ.
There's some really creepy facts, man, that are just blowing my mind right now. That's why I say you have to tap in with us. First of all, I think I might be calling cap on that an octopus can travel the whole mouth out of the digestive system, come out behind. I know they freaking flexible, but they are capable of that. That's just something I just can't freaking believe in. That we get the strawberry flavor, vanilla flavor from a freaking beaver's gland. What the hell? I'll be learning new stuff just like you guys every single day, man. Watching these clips with you guys. That's crazy. What do you guys think? Cap or fact on some of those facts we saw?
I just found something extremely dark. If you look at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice website, you'll see death row information. A list of people the government has killed, and you get to see who they are, what their crime was, their last statement, their name, jail number, and even the county they were killed in. Ooh, look, they have career opportunities. Funny thing is, the data is updated in real time, and the last person that was put down was on February 6th, 2020.
Damn, I didn't even know you
Haunting
could find
facts
that
about
info.
serial killers that you'll want to forget, part 1. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super quiet and pretend like he was gone, and right when the victims would try to untie themselves or go for their phone, he would scare the hell out of them. Jeffrey Dahmer attempted to make sex zombies out of his victims by drilling holes into their head while they were still alive and pouring acid into the holes. American serial killer Albert Fish once cooked and ate a little girl and sent a letter to her parents describing how she tasted.
Okay.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, part 7.
Those
A
ears?
man was working outside when a fly flew into his eye for a split second and laid eggs. When they began to hatch, they started eating his eye from the inside, and he began to go blind. The Magnapena squids are a group of rarely seen sea creatures that live 4,000 feet below the surface of the ocean and are believed to grow up to 27 feet long. 20% of young children report hearing voices. The average person only sees 5,000 movies in their lifetime, and Netflix has over 7,000 movies. So if you want to know which ones to watch, there's this really great app, click link in my bio. Even if you follow the 5-second rule, tiny insects can crawl on your food and you'll eat them without knowing.
Zombies are literally real and you can become one. There's a syndrome called walking corpse syndrome. It's a neuropsychiatric disorder in which a person believes they are dead or missing a soul and their brain acts like it. A man was diagnosed after a fatal motorcycle crash. He survived, but he didn't think he did. Since the conditions are so rare, it's very difficult to pinpoint the causes and any potential cures. So if anyone becomes a zombie, very slim chance you can return back to normal. What would you do?
What the hell? Zombies are real? Oh no. Tiny car, 2 cars for each person. What you guys pick, Seekers? Made a rock. God
Yo,
damn, what's this world coming to,
for
man?
a second. Marilyn Monroe used to be married to Joe DiMaggio, and when they were married, she bought that middle plot right there, and right above her was supposed to be Joe, but when they got divorced, he sold it to this guy named Richard Poncher. So right before Richard died, he tells his wife that he wants to be buried face down, so that he could be facing Marilyn Monroe for all of eternity, and if she doesn't do that, he's going to haunt her forever. And that's exactly what happened, which is really creepy. Directly next to her is Hugh Hefner, who never actually met her in real life and published photos of her as the first sweetheart of the month for Playboy, which actually almost ruined her career and was done so without her permission. Marilyn totally deserves better, and I think she deserves her own crypt or something away from all these creeps.
That's actually kind of crazy. You can just, I mean, that's somebody's final resting place, and they just chose that place there just to, I guess, be around her. That's taking obsession to a whole nother level, Seekers. Really. I think, yeah, she does this her own place. Away from those people.
Child Killers Part 1, Eric Smith. On August 2nd, 1993, Eric Smith was only 13 years old when he lured a boy into the woods. He was riding his bike to a local summer camp to where he saw a 4-year-old boy, Derek Robbie, walking alone to the same camp. Smith lured him into the woods and then dropped a rock on his head. He then proceeded to sexually assault him in ways that I'm not going to say. So at around 11 a.m., Derek Robbie's mother went to the park to pick up her son, but he was never there and they said he never arrived. 4 hours later, his body was found in the woods. So at first, no one really knew who could have done this to him. There was not really much evidence. Eric was kind of suspicious because he was hanging around the investigation quite a bit. So within days of the murder, Eric confessed to his parents and they took him to the police station and he was arrested. One thing to note, when he was younger,
Down by the bay,
Too young,
by the bay, where the watermelon rot, If you go home, just don't get caught,
That's actually insane about all those facts, especially about Mount Everest, how they use, like, they say those bodies as checkpoints. I never knew that until I watched these clips, man. They don't try to remove them and try to give them a final resting place. They just use it for checkpoints.
Oh, damn child, leave this house.
Crazy, man. Those were some creepy facts we saw. Tell me down below which one creeps you out the most, Seekers. Man. If you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys. Also, man, if you guys could do me a huge favor and follow me on all my social medias down below, links are in the description. I really appreciate the support. Like I said, I do daily uploads, so at least check the channel at least one time every single day. You guys will find a new upload posted on the channel. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.